I see. So that's how that works.
Hello,
Yes.
everyone.
Hello, everyone. Whoever's there. Is anybody there? Is anybody there? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
It doesn't show that anyone is there yet.
Oh,
Okay,
and then
now
there
we
is.
got 11
Yeah.
people.
Suddenly, and I want to know if you can see your comments. That's because we get the screen expanded, but
Yeah,
we don't know. Oh, can you see it? It says, "Got my pipe." Okay,
pumpkin
pumpkin
spice
spice coffee. I
coffee.
know. Call me a weakling, but I like the flavor. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing
Yeah,
wrong with that.
yeah,
You
we
enjoy
drink
your
the
coffee.
pumpkin spice
Hmm.
during the holiday season, and that's the one we're drinking on now. We got the Starbucks brand pumpkin spice.
Yeah, I
But
found
can
it.
everyone see your comment
Yeah, can you see the
clearly?
or do we need to make an adjustment? Okay, you can see the comments. Excellent.
Okay,
That's what we
good.
need to know. Because one of the concerns that some of the people that were watching our test was that it was a compressed screen, and the comments were in the picture, and so we experimented with the settings to see if we could expand the picture and without interfering, and so it's just easier for some people.
Yeah.
So happy Halloween. I assume that whoever is watching are the people that have their porch lights off. Is now trick or treat. Oh, here come all the
Hey, my
comments.
mom, retro philosopher Melody's here, and
Yeah.
Gnome Ski. Not much a fan of pumpkin flavored stuff, but
Yeah.
I do like the pumpkin donuts that roll out this time of year.
And this
The
jackalope.
Jackalope.
Jackalope. But yeah, if I like the cake style donuts, I don't like the mushy ones like you get from Krispy Kreme. I know somebody's going to be offended, but I mean they're okay, but I prefer the
Robert
cake style.
Online. Kaiser.
Yeah, our lights are off too, of course. Yeah,
Yes.
Kaiser, hey, spooksters. Those of you who do not want them rotten kids pounded on your door, if anyone even comes around, because that has fallen off over the last decade or so. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did a video on that some time ago. It's like, what the hell happened to Halloween? It's kind of been forgotten for, fallen out of grace for a variety of reasons, but it's made a little bit of a comeback, at least in decorating where
Yeah.
that's concerned. Some people are obsessed with the decorating.
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better, Robert. Thank you for
Oh,
asking.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wyatt is here. Thanks for joining us,
Hey,
Wyatt.
Wyatt.
As people are starting to show up here, and we do our little Halloween thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wyatt
Wyatt
Allgood
Allgood
versus
versus
the
the internet.
internet. Yeah, there you go. You break the internet too. Wasn't that a movie?
I don't know.
Wreck It Ralph breaks the
Oh,
internet. Is that right? I didn't see any of that stuff. I haven't watched any of that modern stuff in a long time.
oh, Johnny lives down a private road, so nobody comes with down his road.
Johnny lives in Wayne Manor.
On top of a hill.
Top of a hill behind a big electrified gate. Left the candy bowl outside.
Because he was stressed
Okay.
today. Mm.
No, we have not heard from him in well over a month.
No, we reached
Oh,
out and reached out to some friends
Masters
of
Maniac.
his,
Yeah.
and they said that he have his good days and bad. I think more bad days than good,
Yeah.
but they'll keep us updated.
Yeah.
So that's all.
And Kirks says Halloween isn't what it used to be.
No, it's
When I was
not.
a kid, there's only like 8 kids out. Oh, yeah. And I don't have that
Okay, we talked
experience
about that.
personally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that experience personally, but I did it with my kids. I have, who's that? Mark Franco, Happy Halloween from Cape Cod.
Oh, Cape Cod.
Um, a van down by the river. Yeah, live in a van down by the river. You won't get any trick or treaters there. Mockingbird Lane. Yeah,
K Moulin.
but
Go ahead.
yeah, because I don't have any Halloween experiences growing up. I wasn't allowed to trick or treat because my mother was on this big diatribe about, oh, you're going to get a razor blade or you're going to get poisoned or something like that. Hundreds of thousands of children die every year from like razor blades in their apples and crazy stuff. But that was a lie
Mm-hmm.
because I have a younger sister, and when she turned like 4 or 5 years old, she started taking her trick or treating so she could have the experience. So it was personal, but I've talked about that stuff before. I didn't go trick or treating. I've never been to a Halloween party. Well, one Halloween party at school, but all we did was fight in junior high school. It
Oh,
was a big brawl, and then never dressed up for Halloween. None of that stuff. Never decorated. except for the kids. When I had my kids,
Uh-huh.
I took them, and of course that was in the 90s, and so we went all out with it. And I would because my oldest, he wanted to go and go, so when his bag was full,
Hmm.
I dumped like 80% of it into a duffel bag, and then let him go and start again, and people would think he just started. And he you had to drag him home. He loved it. He'd have sacks and sacks of stuff.
My mama was anti-Halloween. She did not like me going trick-or-treating. I would make up a big fuss so I could go, and then she would let me go, grudgingly.
Hmm.
And I would go with my cousins, and we would go around the neighborhood. Um, and I told y'all this before, our neighborhood is kind of like cut in half, and it was always the goal to hit both halves of the neighborhood. And I don't think we've ever done it, because it was so much on one side of the neighborhood,
Yeah.
and that was hard to manage, because it was a lot of dead end streets, so you got to go all the way like a mile down this street and come back. And it was just a lot of dead end streets, and there was a lot of places to go, but we always had a good time.
Kaiser had some misfortune today.
Oh, what is that? Let me see. It was this.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost a child.
Did you?
Didn't have
That's
money for a costume.
I
Oh
hope not.
man.
But by the
That
way, I
sucks.
was allowed to distribute candy. My mother would buy candy for trick-or-treaters, of which there, 80s,
Oh.
there was a million of them, 70s and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told that I could have whatever candy was left over, which was zero. So that was my Halloween experience. It was miserable. And then one day I came home from school, and laid out on my bed was a Ben Cooper Spider-Man costume.
Oh
Wow. The Spider-Man mask with the vinyl smock.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh wow, this is finally it. I'm gonna get to go trick. No, it was so that I could wear the costume while I gave candy away to other children who were having a good time.
When Randall said he'll be back in an hour, gotta stop at the store on my way home. Okay, we'll be here, I'm sure.
We'll be here. But that and you know what? To this day, I still want that Ben Cooper costume.
Oh wow.
Just because. But yeah, I had terrible experiences with Halloween growing up.
Oh.
That's probably why I went so overboard with my kids.
Oh wow. Let's see.
Oh, my friend Wildly says his mother used to make him costumes.
We always used to go in our regular clothes. When I was real little, I remember one costume. It was a Wonder Woman costume, with the mask.
Yeah.
And the thing, and it was me and my cousin, and one of us would wear the mask and the other one would wear the outfit part. But mainly we just went out in our regular clothes. It was rare that anybody in my neighborhood dressed up. So okay,
yeah.
let's see.
George was watching The Shining. Were you watching the movie, or there's two Shinings? Because there's the movie.
I don't need to be clicking on these things. Y'all can see that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't need to click on the.
We'll just highlight occasionally.
Oh, okay.
But because you all can see the feed, right? I just want to make sure. But I asked that earlier, but I just want to make sure.
Because I was just clicking on them to make it big to so people can see the comments. But if y'all can all see, then that's fine.
Because there's two original Shinings. There's the one with Jack Nicholson, of course,
right?
The classic.
Yeah.
And then there was in the I want to say late 80s or early 90s a made-for-TV 5-part miniseries that was rewritten by Stephen King because he didn't like the way the film came out. And it was and he wrote himself into it as one of the worst lounge singers you have ever seen in your life. But that's really him singing. He always has this fantasy about being a rock star. So he has a band.
He does have a band.
He has a band, but he cannot sing. He sounds like shit. So, but he's Stephen King, so he can afford to do that. Not that anyone will listen, but you were forced to in the Shining miniseries. Axel says, yes, we see it.
Okay.
Just make it short. Yeah, Jack Nicholson knocked that out, and so did, who's that, Shelley Duvall?
Yeah.
Oh, she was brilliant. In that film. Yeah, she was.
Yeah. That movie was really good. That's one of my favorites. And actually, the one that they just did. What is it? Red Rum. What's the movie with the little girl?
Because they followed it up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
cannot think of the name, but I saw it in the theater, and then we saw it recently. That actually wasn't bad, and from my understanding, they're gonna do another one. And I read another one based on the one that just came out, like
Uh-huh.
picking up from that one. And then I read an article, I don't know, this week or so, and they were saying that the movie was supposed to be about alcoholism.
Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep.
Thank
That's
you,
it.
Retro.
That's it. The Shining was supposed to be about alcoholism. I did not get that at all.
Because
I
you know he
didn't
has
really-
hidden agendas in some
Yeah.
of his story writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but The Shining was supposed to, because in the movie, you know, when you think about it, he did drink a lot, but that's not what I got from the movie.
Melody doesn't like Shelley Duvall, but she's supposed to
Really?
be in the movie. But she's
Oh,
supposed to be a nervous, like blithering idiot wreck,
yeah.
which she pulled it off.
She did, and she did a good job, because a lot of times you'll see a movie and it'll be a person in there that's just annoying because they're such a wreck. But she did such a good job of being scared, a scared wreck.
Yeah.
You know, that it made it not so unbearable. Like, seem like modern movies, when there's always a woman, when they're all like nervous and scary and all of that, it's just, it gets under your skin, and it's like, look, get yourself together and figure something out. But everything was going on. She didn't know what was going on. She was just like terrified. She had the look of terror on her face almost throughout the whole movie, and just like in oblivion.
And especially that one scene where she's backing up the stairs and
Yeah.
she's got the bat. She's not even holding it right.
And she's trying to swing it.
Snot running down her nose, and she can barely talk. That was well done. That was well done. Johnny Future says he likes candy corn. You probably
I
like
love candy
you probably
corn.
like circus peanuts too.
Oh no, circus peanuts is awful. Candy corn is the best.
Candy corn, circus peanuts, and black licorice. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to go get sick.
Okay, hold on, because we missing up. Okay, I'm trying to catch up.
This is my bucket, and I found this at Goodwill a couple weeks back, and it's in great shape, and it is an original bucket. This is circa 1980. 1980. Can you imagine? That is 42 years old.
Circus peanuts are the worst.
42 years old, and there is some candy in here. Let me see if I can get my hand in the hole.
Can you believe it was Elliot? Oh, something.
Ghirardelli.
It messed up.
It didn't do right.
Well, no, it jumped away. I was reading. Can you believe it was Elliot from Plain Jack? Oh, E.T. Oh, okay. Horror Story went to GameStop today, and the Funko Pops are now literally all over the store, and more on the way. Pretty soon they will be out in the streets blocking traffic. The last couple of times we've been to GameStop, their pop section,
it's like 5-foot section, 5-foot shelf.
Yeah, when Pops was kind of big in 2017. Man, the whole store was full. Even in Hot Topic, everywhere you went, FYE.
Yeah. FYE had entire gondolas.
Yeah,
loaded with.
They
Pops,
had gondolas and walls and everything full of Pops, but now they're not really anywhere.
No, this is new candy in the old bucket, Johnny. Yeah, Melody doesn't like circus peanuts either. It's it's the same kind of like fake marshmallow that they put in like Lucky Charms or something like that. You didn't mind it when it was in Boo Berry, but when it's a whole peanut, something's wrong. Yeah, licorice coated in chocolate. Axel says, no, you know what you do. This is the trick, okay? You go and you get those little soaps that they have in the hotel, and you unwrap them, and you dip them in chocolate and coat them.
Why
and then
would you
wrap
do
them
that?
in foil, and then you drop those in there because the kids are they'll stuff that in their mouth and start chomping, and then suddenly dial.
You're just evil. Why was there no sequel to E.T.? It didn't need to be a sequel. Well, I don't know because I didn't see the movie, but I don't think it needed to be one.
Yeah, there doesn't need to be a sequel. Besides, they made a cameo in
Look at
and
Dan.
Phantom Menace.
Oh, hold on. I got to highlight Dan's comment if I
What'd he
can
say?
find it. Oh, he's a little joke. Why don't monsters eat ghosts? Because they taste like sheep.
Yeah, there you go. My friend Widely says we used to trick or treat in a small town.
Mhm.
Right? Was that what is it? My dad made us go everywhere, every house. One old lady used to give us homemade popcorn balls. I remember popcorn balls. They don't do that anymore.
Mm-mm.
Do they still have popcorn balls?
You
Kids don't appreciate that stuff anymore.
You
It's
probably
like-
got to find it.
Yeah. Yeah, but the you know what would be a good one is if somebody hasn't already thought of this, and I can like get a kickback for it if it ever happens.
Hey, Kentucky Mud.
Do a sequel to Home Alone,
Mm-hmm.
but make it like make it a horror film because he's an adult.
Yeah.
Only now he kills the intruders and tortures them. So it's
Anyway,
like,
David.
yeah, but make it an adult version of Home Alone, but still use the same actor. Yeah, that would work. People would go to see that. Make it like Home Alone: The Purge, and he's dicing people up as they break into his home. Or Purge Night. They could make it a Purge / Home Alone. It could be a Purge Night sequel, but they trying to break into Kevin McAllister's house. And Kevin McAllister is all grown up, and he's like, I got this. And no one makes it out of there alive.
Hey, Shannon, how are you?
Tell me you wouldn't go see
Nobody gonna go see
Come
that.
on, guys. What do you think of that idea? I want to hear. Don't eat Pop Rocks with soda. No.
Thank you for joining us, Shannon. Okay.
Reese's peanut butter cups are fine.
You
know what another good trick is too is you get those jelly donuts and you squeeze the jelly out, and then you get that French's mustard that has like the screw top, and you squeeze the mustard in there. Or toothpaste.
Oh my God, what is wrong with you?
Fill it with toothpaste. See, Kentucky Mud said I'd watch that. Yep.
He just saying that because he feel bad for you. That's all. I'm going to grab a Dum Dum lollipop. I remember those. I always hated those.
You know, all the little, it's
like them
the,
little itty bitty ones,
the cheap ones that you buy like a whole bag for like
for like 20
so cheap,
cents.
They pay you to take the bag.
Yeah, and then didn't they have like the root beer kind?
Root beer barrels.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the old people candy that like you get that in your bag. You know,
we saw Rambo Last Blood. That was like what he just said. Man, he tore it up, didn't he?
Yeah, when they came and he killed them all in his little cave.
Mm-hmm.
Blow pops. Oh yeah, blow pops with the gum in the middle, right?
Yeah. The only way that Home Alone movie would work is if it started The Rock and a young Arnold Schwarzenegger.
His Happy Accident.
Where do you see him at?
Happy Accident is up here.
Okay. You know, he's like, so far down. Yeah.
It's in reverse. That's why.
Yeah.
I do remember Whistle Pops. I do remember those. You know what else is? You know what's another nasty one? Who remembers the wax candy? It was like wax fish or something like that, and it had like a liquid inside, a flavored liquid. It was like little hugs, kind of like fluid in the middle. And I remember fish specifically, but I know they had other things. And you chew on the wax, and the flavor would come out, but then you'd have to spit the wax out. Weird stuff. Yeah, I'm serious.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember? Who remembers those?
Mm-mm.
The wax candy, and it wasn't really candy, and it just had like weird fluid in it.
Yeah, Mary Jane candy was at our wedding. We had retro candy.
The bottles, they had the bottles too.
We had retro candy at our wedding.
That's right.
From the 70s and 80s. And we had like a bunch of candy dishes for each candy. I think it was like 10, 15 different types of candy from that era, from the 70s and the 80s. And we had that, in bags so people can fill up their bags. And I thought that was fun because if you go online, there's stores out there that sell candy per decade.
Yeah, you select your decade and they send you an assortment.
Well, no, you pick out the decade and then they show you all of the candy from that decade. And then you pick out the one you want and they send you the big old bags of like 100, 500 or whatever. And then that's what you get.
Dan doesn't like the gum from the old baseball cards. Oh yeah,
Man, those things were hard. They had a sweet taste until you finished chewing it down a little bit.
and
Then it was just
it
awful.
started off like a potato chip. Yeah,
Or that really
Yeah.
big ball of bubble gum that came in the machine, and you couldn't
It's
even
too big.
to even
You
get
couldn't
in your
get
mouth.
it in your mouth, and it was hollow. But
Yeah.
you had to try to compress it to get it chewed. Oh, that's
Oh my
awful.
gosh.
Some jawbreakers. Yeah, Robert hated the
I
girl.
love the candy cigarettes. Okay.
Yeah, the girl from Rambo 4. Her dumb butt had to go to Mexico to look for her dad. And I love the fact, actually, spoiler alert, that when she does find him, he's like, "What are you doing here? I
Yeah.
don't want to see you. Get out of here."
Yeah.
Okay, I ran away for a reason. Like, oh my God. Oh no.
And let me see. So Mr. saying hey to Mr.
We're doing fine so far. Thank you.
Yeah, and George Costanza is here.
He wants to know what we think about Young Frankenstein.
Did we see? Is that the one with
Gene Wilder?
Oh, that was hilarious.
She likes that movie.
I like Gene Wilder and that guy he was with. What's the guy's name? The one with the humpback. And he was in Something
Marty
Happened on
Feldman.
Yeah, Something Happened on the Way to the Forum was funny. He was in the other one with Gene Wilder when they tried to make a movie and they wanted to make the movie bad, and they had Hitler in there. You know the one.
The Producers.
The Producers. That was funny.
Which is one of the few films that had a reboot where the reboot was also good.
Oh yeah,
there is a reboot.
I didn't
of that
see
one.
the reboot.
Will Ferrell plays the Nazi. It's hilarious.
Nazi guy was.
They did a great job on the reboot, and that's rare.
Yes,
we
did see Brewster's Million.
Yeah.
And let's see. I like the big orange.
Go.
Okay.
Sorry,
but thank you for stopping by.
For stopping by.
Make sure you give us a like before you leave. Mm-hmm. I like the big orange pumpkin that started out hard, then crunched into a yummy powder. I don't remember that.
No, I don't remember that either. Mister is having trouble with his connection.
Oh no! I hope nobody else is.
Hopefully, you could try again later.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh well.
Nice show, and
I remember Mr. Bones, and that was the sugar candy in the little. It was in a coffin. That's right, and they had a whole series of them because they had a fire plug, they had a garbage can with little trash candy in it. They made a whole bunch of that stuff. That they had a locker, and in the locker was like a little book and a little sock and stuff like that. Yeah, the wax candy
and the piano ones. I used to like the Stripey ones. It was a little square about this big, but it was stripes. It was a light brown color and it had dark stripes on it. I cannot remember the name. I used to love that candy. That one was pretty good. Let's see. LPH, you're going to get the 40th anniversary? No, I won't. I don't buy the figures. I'll buy the vehicles, but not the figures, because like I always say, and I beat this dead horse a lot, how many He-Mans do you need?
Yeah.
You got the original 80s, you got the one from the 90s, you got the 2000X
200X, yeah,
or 200X. You had the Maddie Club, the Filmation, Super 7 came out with one. You got the Origins now. Then if you start talking about 6-scale figures, you got Mondo, and what Tweeterhead makes statues. So I mean, really, how many of one figure do you need? Because I got the 80s, the 200X, the Maddie Club, the Filmation, the Super 7. I don't want any more figures from that, unless it's the original 80s that I don't have. Now, like I said, I am buying the vehicles from the Origins, and I am buying the Sunman series from the Origins. Outside of that, I'm not getting any more figures.
Mark remembers the Pixie Sticks.
Oh, Pixie Sticks. That
They had
that was the one that was
it
in
was
a
a
straw,
paper straw,
and
and
then
you
it had the
tear the tip
powder.
off. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Chico sticks. I remember Chico sticks are basically
Chico Sticks. I
Chico
love is
sticks.
the inside of the Butterfinger.
Yeah, they're Butterfingers essentially.
They sell those at Quick Trip. That's what I get all the time when we go.
And no, I'm sorry, Robert, you are incorrect.
Oh
That
no.
Battle Cat is too much. I
$500.
can't do it. $500 for that. And to add insult to injury, there's a window on that. It closes, I think, tonight.
Oh.
So or by tomorrow afternoon. So they only gave you a week to buy it. And I'm like, good Lord, how much do you think? Everybody's just get $500 laying around, I guess. At least give people a chance to be able to order one. And that's a artificial demand model. That's to drive the market, because aftermarket, that's going to look ugly. Oh yeah, the Bullseye caramels, those are the same as the Cowtails. The Cowtails.
I
the
remember
white
the
wrapper,
name of the
and
Cowtail, but
it's
I
like
don't
a
think I
long
ever
version.
ate
But
that.
those are good, the Bullseye caramels. So yeah, I'm offended by that whole thing with Mondo. That pissed me off.
Oh.
And then yet another He-Man, a fourth version. Come on.
Yeah. Recently saw the new Ballista Shane Black Series figure that caught my eye, but sadly it will more than likely have windowless packing, sticking to my guns and not buying any figures in that. That's the only way they're gonna hear you. You got to speak with your money. Don't buy it. Plus, you don't know nowadays if whatever that figure is going to be in that box when you get home, because you trustworthy, you honest. You're not going to open it up in the store. You're going to be like, oh yeah, this is the figure supposed to be in this box. You get home, you open it up, you done got the spot laid out that you want to put it in, and then you open the box up and then you got something else in there. So it's
people
just a mess. Yeah. And it's like, why are you doing that? You don't care about the earth. You're not saving trees or worrying about no global warming and all kind of stuff you talking about. It's just not the truth.
Happy's got to go too. They got a Halloween party.
Okay. Well, thank you for stopping by. Yep. Giving us a little wave. Make sure that you click the like button before you leave. Hey y'all. Hey Hank.
Oh, and Robert, what was I reading? Oh, George, he says he loves it. LPH loves the Joker. Speaking of which, tomorrow got another unboxing, another Joker unboxing from this one here.
Yeah. What Joker are you talking about? The Joaquin Phoenix Joker? I love the Joaquin Phoenix. I think, like I've always said, each one of them, meaning Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix. Those are the only three I see. I'm not talking about like the 66, because that's a TV show.
And he knocked that out too. He was fun. His character was fun.
But I'm talking about movie wise, and I never saw the other guy from Suicide Squad. But those
the
three,
Jared Leto.
Those three made Joker totally different. If you had 3 different universes, they could go in there and be a different Joker. It wouldn't conflict. Nobody was trying to be the other person, or try to act like or make my Joker similar to Jack Nicholson or from Gomez, from what's the name, the guy from the 66, something Gomez. What was his name?
Gomez.
What was his name?
No, Cesar Romero.
Oh, Cesar Romero. They wasn't trying to be Cesar Romero. Nobody was trying to be, even in the animated series when Mark Hamill was the Joker, he wasn't trying to be, hey, Logic Blast. Yeah. He wasn't trying to be Jack Nicholson. He did it himself. And then we were watching another animated series. Which one were we watching? And the guy that played Joker, he brought a whole nother
Red Hood.
Yeah, if you see Batman Red Hood, the animated version, that Joker was really good. He was creepy. He was a real creepy Joker.
Everybody says that about Jared Leto. They did not like meth head Joker at all.
I didn't see. Now, to be honest, I never saw Suicide Squad, so I never saw the Jared Leto. So I never talk about him or even comment. He could have been good. I don't know. But from the ones I saw, I like each one of them almost equally in their own right. They did something totally different.
Oh, Max says he likes the way that the streaming's looking right now.
Oh yeah, see,
Yeah, we're trying. We're just trying to give everybody the best,
yeah,
the
we
best
trying to look.
experience.
We want
Yeah.
to be professional. We want to have a nice experience and look
Retro
good.
liked the Jared Leto. Well,
Who?
we didn't. Retro
Oh,
said he
okay.
liked it, and that's fine. We didn't see Suicide Squad, so
Mm-mm.
we can't even comment truly. We just know a lot of people that wasn't feeling it.
Yeah,
Although they still bought that Hot Toys figure.
I see a lot of people with the Hot Toys figure of
Yeah.
Jared Leto, and now I've heard a lot of people say that they like the second Suicide Squad, and we were looking for the DVD or something. We were looking for, but but we never watched it. I mean, we never found it. Some reason we never saw the second one, and we kept saying that we want to see it just to see how it played out. Watched you both for years. Oh,
That's
Eric, hey Eric.
Hello, Eric.
First time participating in a live. Is LPH getting the new Irons? No.
No more Iron Studios.
No more Iron Studios for me. I do not like. Okay, I don't want to say it like that.
I'll say it. For the price, it's not good quality.
It's not.
It's not.
I don't like Iron Studios. I don't like that small. I like statues.
Oh.
If you watch my channel, if you watch
Kitty
the channel
is right there.
Yeah. If you watch it, do it again. Now I done took the thing off so people can see. Oh yeah, there she go. Yeah. I like bigger statues. That I didn't think that statue was going to be that small.
And then the quality's not good. Like the Batman, she got the
89 Batman. I got a couple.
And the cape is there, but you can see into the edges of the cape, and he has no arms. So he's just like legs and a torso and then cape, and there's nothing in there, and you can see it. And I'm like, how much was this?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, love the Mark Hamill. Yeah, and then I also have the Pennywise. I like the Pennywise. I like the way that it looked, the whole little diorama, but I don't like tiny statues. I like the bigger 1/3 quarter scale statues. So
Melody wanted to know what we thought of the Joker and that Batman.
Oh,
but you only saw like an end credit snippet.
Yeah.
So you can't judge too much from it.
Yeah. So a lot of people are trying to speculate, is that going to be Joaquin Phoenix, or are they going to create a whole new Joker for that universe?
Yeah. Because that whole multiverse thing has made a huge comeback. Because remember, for those of you who were buying comics back in the 80s and whatnot, they had a problem with that with Disney, with DC in the first place, and that's why they created Crisis, and that's why they created the Anti-Monitor, was to eliminate all of those universes so they could start from scratch, because it was too confusing. So, but now they're right back where they started with all of that.
Robert said he just bought Super Sons. That's Batman. I got one of the Sons of Batman. But like I told y'all before, I'm watching them in order. I bought I think all of them, except for the ones that are coming out right now. And I put them in order. So I'm trying to watch them in order, and I'll watch one a week. And that's also Batman, Justice League, a couple of Supermans are in there, and a few Green Lanterns are in there. And then they also had the Watchmen in there, because they had a little movie of the Watchmen, which I thought was really good. And I wish they had continued that on a little bit longer. But it was only like 20-30 minute long movie. Did you find any coffin? I've been looking for coffins since I got that thing. The only coffin that I see that would work is just a pine box, and it looks like a pine box, and that's what they're sending it to you as, because it's a military coffin. It's a pine box, no inner thing. And I thought about getting it and probably staining it and putting an inner liner in it. But then if you do something to the inside, you're going to take away space, because they do have a 1/6 scale figure in the coffin. but it fits in the coffin as is. So you can't really do much.
And for those of you who didn't see, rather, the Bela Lugosi figure, the deluxe version with the coffin, and the coffin turned out to be junk. It's like a big chunk of resin with almost no articulation, supersized, disproportionate hinges. It's imbalanced. It won't stand up. And he doesn't even fit in it. You can't close the lid on the figure if you put him in there. And he's in there kind of sideways. You got to crunch his arms and kind of stuff him. You know, it's like the Undertaker special with getting his body in there. And it's like, wow, we paid extra for this.
Yeah,
it was a terrible job.
It was very disappointing. And that's the one thing, the coffin, if you just sit the coffin down and look at it with the lid closed, it look fine. You're like, oh, that's a nice little coffin. But when you start touching on it and opening it up, because you open it up and it looks like a silk lining on the inside. It's not.
It's not.
It's not a silk lining.
It's molded.
Yeah. And then they got the little rings on the side for the pallbearers to hold. That doesn't move.
Yeah, they could have put rings on there.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. And I was kind of crass about it. But and I said in the last live stream, because it came up. And no, we didn't. Where did you send that to? I didn't see the Robotech images. I don't think I did. But they could have got the same 8-year-old Asian kid that gets 13 cents an hour to build a whole box for what that cost to make, to mold that resin. They could have made, and people think I'm being mean when I say that, but working for Family Dollar, and this came up before, we used to get the mirrors imported, those full-length mirrors, those 5-foot tall mirrors that they sell in Family Dollar. We used to get tons and tons of those when I was a manager there. And when we take them out of the box, there's fingerprints all over them. The fingerprints are all that big. They look like they're fingerprints from like 9-year-old kids. All right. And I'm like, where the hell are these manufactured? Because all the handling fingerprints are tiny, tiny little fingerprints, and they're like children. So that's why I have that. I sound like I'm rude when I say that, but I'm actually kind of outraged.
Yeah. I've seen Darkseid Iron Studios from Justice League review. The foot of the statue doesn't stand on Steppenwolf's head in the Justice League.
I'll have to check, Robert.
Okay.
I'll have to check the email. They could. All they have to do is repaint the Battle Cat.
Yeah.
Some cheapskate will do it.
Okay, you say, Super Sons just came out. Okay. Right. I know that they have a Christmas one coming out, something about Catwoman, but I'm not gonna get that.
Yeah, you don't like Catwoman.
No, and I'm not getting a one-shot Catwoman either.
Catwoman has gotten super annoying in Batman the Animated Series when we've been watching it recently. Oh, the 91 Addams Family, that's a good example of translating a film from an old TV show, because they did a good job on that with Raul Julia, who sold it in the Street Fighter movie. If you ever saw Street Fighter and with Jean-Claude Van Damme, Raul Julia, it's worth watching that film to just to see his performance. He is absolutely freaking brilliant as Vega. Or M. Bison. I forget they switched the translation on the names, but as General Bison, he is absolutely over the top, deserves a freaking Oscar. Brilliant in that.
Thinking about purchasing. I don't know. I haven't seen it, and I don't know, because I got a lot of Batmobiles. I would love to get. If I won the lottery, I would get that Hot Wheels 1/6 scale Batmobile. I want that one, and the Ecto one from Hot Toys.
Oh my god!
But I got to win the lottery. It's up to $1 billion right now.
Oh, the lottery is, yeah. We don't play the lottery.
Every time we play, we waste our money. We might as well throw it in the trash.
I think it's interesting that the more people play and the more tickets they buy, the less likely anyone is to win.
Yeah.
Just saying. Because back in the day, people used to win all the time, and there weren't nearly as many tickets being sold as there are now.
They probably will reissue it.
No, Eric, we didn't see it.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't seen it yet.
We want to, though.
We've heard it's good.
Everybody that we've talked to said that it's really good.
Yeah, and speaking of, the blanket was absolutely pitiful. Kentucky Mud. Most of that movie was pitiful, but Raul Julia blew it out of the water. It's one of those deals where it's like I would watch it just to see him. You should just take all the scenes with him and splice them together into a YouTube cut, because that's all anybody wants to see. Yeah, Man-Thing was in it.
Yeah, Man-Thing was in it, and now his comic book is going through the roof because of it. Good thing I already got it.
No, Melody, after taxes and fees, and I don't think people realize the winnings taxes, state and federal, and depending upon your state, also county.
Yes,
because that in Illinois, there's 2 county taxes on that, for example.
And if you live in a major city like Chicago, Atlanta, LA,
an additional tax.
A city tax.
There's a city tax as well.
So you need to live in the boondocks.
When the dust settles, it's 40% of the total winnings. And I don't think people realize. I mean, I will still take $400 million, and also that's if you take the payment plan. If you take the settlement, they cut a third off the top already. So if you take the settlement and then they tax that, you're gonna get about $250,000 out of that billion. So that's how bad.
$250,000.
I mean, quarter of $1 billion.
Oh,
240, $250 million.
Yeah, but you can still do something with that.
Yeah, I know, but you've been robbed left, right, and sideways. You know what I mean? They take so much. It's insulting. Even though you're still getting a big thing, it's insulting.
Yeah.
Eric says jackpots are maximum 70 in Canada. Let's say they start skimming off the top when you hit 70 because people are still buying those tickets because Canada's awful with that. Yeah, North Carolina, Robert says.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go to some place out in the middle of nowhere where you don't have that double county tax and all of this extra stuff, because they get real weird on you. Depending on the state and depending on the county. The closer your county is to a major metropolitan area, the more taxes they're going to take. But if you live out in the middle of nowhere and nobody comes and you can barely get internet and phone service and the mail don't like to come out there, then you'll be all right. You just pay the state and federal taxes and you're done. Hey, Punisher.
Melody, that's only if you take the payment schedule, because it's a 20-year payout or a lump sum, but the lump sum, they take a big chunk out of it.
Yeah. And then if you take the payment plan and you die before 20 years, that's it.
You can't leave that to anybody, as I understand it, unless their name is also on the ticket.
Yeah.
So if you got somebody you're going to drop it to, you got to both sign it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're not willing the rest of it to your family.
I bet they do, Retro.
What?
Virginia and their taxes.
Yeah.
Virginia's gotten pretty bad. Films.
Oh yeah,
Film
yeah.
Recommendations.
Film recommendations.
Well,
so
we watched. Well, before you do that.
No, I'm gonna just take this off, so if somebody recommends something, I can write it down.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
We watched the original Twilight Zone movie, which I forgot Dan Aykroyd and Steve Guttenberg were in that, but and John Lithgow. But what I noticed about it was the first one, which was an original story, was pretty good. About the racist guy.
And, the Nazi.
And he was a real one, not like the pretend ones the media shows you now. And then the 2 redone stories were just too flowery. I thought they did a crappy job. The kick the can story.
Hey, Brian Sanchez.
Here, Brian. The kick the can story and the remake of the Psychic Kid.
Yeah.
I thought were too sugary, over the top. Although the kid one was better presented, but the ending was kind of cheesy.
Yeah. But
then John Lithgow and the recreation of William Shatner's Man on the Wing of the Plane bit was pretty well done. So it was a toss up, half and half. Easelman is watching Sopranos. I never saw the Sopranos.
I never saw Sopranos.
And Master's watching Plague of the Zombies.
And American Werewolf, and we've seen that one. watching The Plague of the Zombies.
Masters like 60s and 70s horrors, and I agree, and I'll tell you why.
Bad Moon.
It's because after there's a transition that takes place, and it starts in the late 70s and early 80s, where there's no resolution to the film. The story doesn't, and then the bad guy gets to keep coming back, and the bad guy gets to keep slaughtering basically innocent people and getting away with it. And that trend has accelerated through the years to where we are now, where you got stuff like Saw, which is basically just gore porn.
It's no plot to now. The first Saw I saw,
and this RA, thanks for joining us.
The first Saw actually had a story to go with it. It had a plot, and you watched it. Of course, when it ended, you knew the way it ended, it was going to be a part 2. But after that, I saw the second one. I don't think I saw the third one.
You didn't miss anything. It gets worse and worse.
Yeah, but the storylines in the more modern films seem like it's really none. But like the older ones, it seemed like there's a story in there. Yeah. Okay, so I got a couple.
Okay. And Stargate SG-1, the TV show? Yeah, I've seen the show and the original film.
You used to watch that.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, Henry Cavill is coming back. He quit.
I think that was part of the deal. No more Witcher.
I liked him as the Witcher. Well, I didn't like that Yennefer though. He running around all over looking for her. That got on my nerves.
And yeah, Dr. Phibes with Vincent Price, which he's done more comedies than you can imagine. If you really look.
Hey, Coffee Madness.
He's done a lot of comedies.
The one where he's the Undertaker, he's ripping on his wife is hilarious.
With Peter Lorre. Peter Lorre with the bug eyes.
I cannot think of the name of that movie.
The nonstop insults against his wife and have you on the floor. He's so casual and proper with it when he just sits there and just flat out says these horrible things to her. And it's like, oh my God, that is hilarious. Yeah, Hammer films are great.
Gnome says that Liam Hemsworth is replacing him as the Witcher. Okay, at least he's smaller than his brother Chris.
I remember the Christopher Lee Dracula. You know who was the worst Dracula ever?
Who?
Judd Hirsch. Who knows that Judd Hirsch played Dracula?
No.
In one of the worst made-for-TV Christmas specials ever. But it's cheesy, good fun, though, if you watched it.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it.
Halloween Kills. I'm going to watch that because we got Peacock. And I want to see it just because we got Peacock and I don't have to pay for it.
There's Raw Talk has joined us.
Hey, Raw Talk.
Darkness Falls.
Van Helsing also has some good vampire. We saw a couple of the Van Helsing. Darkness Falls, Exorcism of Emily. I think I saw Exorcism of Emily Rose. One of the girl who plays Lois Will. No.
One that we saw also just recently was Night of the Creeps. Whoever saw Night of the Creeps?
That movie was silly.
It was silly, but it's fun though. Set up for a sequel and never happened.
Yeah, but they still got room to make one. Yeah, Nosferatu 1922. I don't want to watch that because it's silent. You got to read all that stuff.
George never heard of Judd. Yeah, look it up. Judd Hirsch Dracula. You'll find it.
Saturday the 14th, I saw.
You know what I ought to do is I'm going to do more of those, like with the Fat Albert. Somebody mentioned they're watching the Fat Albert special I put up. I think it was hey, Brian
Eric.
Sanchez. But I'm gonna do more of that in the future. I just have to be careful with it because YouTube doesn't like that too much. They gave me a hard time about putting that Fat Albert up. But I don't mind doing it because people, especially with the commercial spliced in, people seem to like it.
What about Night of the Living Dead 2's Brian Sanchez at? I saw Night of the Living Dead 2.
I remember Chud.
The Return. I didn't care for it that much. The Return. Chud was good.
Both Nosferatus are good because there was a remake in the 70s. It was a German film, but you can find it dubbed in English, and it's a pretty good rendition. It's a pretty good rendition.
Catwoman. Finally, someone there. Wow.
Really?
Okay.
I liked Eartha Kitt as Catwoman.
I remember her from the TV show. The Migo. He got the Migo. David got the Migo Nosferatu. You say that's one of the best.
Mezco.
Oh, Mezco.
Mezco.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mezco.
it's one of their
Sorry.
better figures.
Yeah.
It's one of their better figures.
Bubba
But
the redneck
Night of the
werewolf.
Creeps is the alien like slug, and they leap into people's mouths and lay eggs in their brain.
And eat their brains.
It's crazy. It is crazy.
Bubba the redneck werewolf. Okay, go ahead.
The other one, this is another underrated 80s classic that a lot of people have forgotten about. The Keep. Who here has ever seen or heard of The Keep?
The Keep is good.
The Keep is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that they could remake and pull off, I think, if they did redo it. 'Cause a lot of people don't remember The Keep.
30 Days was good. I saw that. Freaks, I don't. You saw Freaks. Isn't that the one with the circus people?
Oh, the original Freaks, and
Yeah,
it was real,
yeah, we
it was
did
real
see that.
circus freaks. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of us.
David, what was the name of that movie?
I can't think of the name. I
Yeah,
can't remember, but he was in a lot of comedies. Like Champagne for Caesar was pretty good with
Mhm.
Vincent Price.
yeah.
But he was in a lot of comedy stuff, and people don't realize.
We'll have to look it up and send it to you.
Yeah, I
But
don't
because
remember the
we
name.
were actually talking about, because I want to see that again. It was a really good.
And Peter Lorre was secretly in love with his wife. They were undertakers. It was pretty good. It was funny.
Yeah.
But man, the things he said to her was like, oh my God.
But it was so funny
because
though.
he delivers it so dryly.
Yeah.
With such a straight face, like, I really mean this. It was hilarious. Yeah, the Keep. They're in that small town. The German soldiers. They're supposed to set up a base camp, and they're like, "What the hell are we doing here?"
Yeah.
And men keep disappearing, and so the Gestapo shows up and tries to run the army captain out, and the army captain is like, you're making it worse. It was a pretty good film.
Yeah, they were trying to make a fort or a base inside the mountain, and they released the
mountain
spirit
that
was trapping it.
The monks that were there, the caretakers, were guarding something inside the fort, inside
Silver
the keep.
Bullet was good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Arachnophobia. I saw Arachnophobia. No. I didn't see that. I was thinking about the one with the snake with Ice Cube in it. And they were in like the Amazon rainforest and all kind of stuff.
Oh, Raw Talk, is it The Raven? Oh, you're talking about I remember The Raven with the wizards. Vincent Price and Peter Lorre.
That wasn't Vincent Price. That was the other guy, Boris Karloff.
Boris Karloff was in that, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. And then they were casting spells back and forth. They were sitting in front of it, and they were having a cast off or whatever.
Yeah. Anaconda.
Yeah, Anaconda.
Made for TV movie Gargoyles. I think I did see that. Yeah, we saw Gargoyles.
I didn't see
They had the fight where they crashed through the motel room, and
I never saw no Gargoyles.
We saw you saw it.
Oh. The Graveyard Shift, I think I did see.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of the made for TV Stephen King stuff. The one I like the best is the Langoliers. The
Langoliers was funny because they had Balky was in it from Perfect Strangers, and he's at the table. He lived out his fantasy, and Lee Balmforth has joined us.
Hey, Lee.
He had this fantasy about telling off his boss, and he's up on the table. I lost $43 million, and I did it on purpose.
Monster Squad.
Monster Squad was good. Werewolf. Everybody remembers that line. Werewolves got nads.
Planet 9. That one has Bela Lugosi is in that. Planet 9.
Terrible. That was such a poorly done production.
Let's see.
And another one was we just saw this yesterday, Prince of Darkness with Donald Pleasence.
Yeah, it was a John Carpenter film from the 80s.
Prince of Darkness. It was weird. It was weird, is what it was.
Yeah. It was kind of strange because
Coffee says his wedding video is the scariest. Something bad happened? I hope not.
It was weird because somebody found this jar with something in it, and they put it in this church, and these priests and monks were guarding
Yeah,
it.
they have been guarding it for centuries.
Yeah,
Because there was a book that was with it that it's kind of explained what it was.
mhm.
But yeah, that's right.
Alice Cooper was
he didn't
in there.
speak. I
No,
don't think he spoke.
he was
but
one of
in it.
the
One of the
not a zombie
one of the
because they
one of the
weren't
bums.
dead. Yeah,
There was like homeless people there.
yeah. I saw Life Force.
Force,
We
yeah.
saw that. I like Wolfman.
1941 Wolfman.
I never saw that.
Claude Rains. Okay.
Serpent of the
I remember
Rainbow.
Serpent and the Rainbow. That's about voodoo.
I think we saw that on Mystery Science, didn't we?
Yeah.
Wolfman.
Yeah. Lost Boys, of course. Dan says, "Don't get on a plane."
I haven't been on a plane in a long time. I don't think I want to go traveling. What else you got?
Another one that we saw just recently was In the Company of Werewolves.
In the Company of Werewolves is good. Very good movie.
With
Angela Lansbury. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Angela Lansbury.
The Birds.
Good. Now, In the Company of Wolves is cinematically very well done. And it's all a set. It looks like a forest, but it's not. It's a set. And the animal shots, there's always something to draw your eye in the film. The people who laid that out did a fantastic job with the lighting and the cinematography and the special effects, because there are some werewolf transformations in that film you have never seen. And keep in mind, it was done with puppets.
Yeah.
You know.
But what also made that good, I think they had like 3 werewolf transformations.
All different.
They were all different, and they were very different.
And creepy. It was creepy and well done.
Yeah. That movie was surprisingly good. And I think either somebody on one of the chats or I saw it on a video recommended that movie because Angela Lansbury was in it, not being like a detective. Like she's normally known, like she was in Murder, She Wrote. You know, she usually is in that type of role, but this role totally different.
Yeah.
She was like the grandmother or something.
Yeah, because it's sort of a rendition of Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
Actually,
Mm-hmm.
the core of the plot is Little Red Riding Hood, but it's not. You know, if you see it, you know what I'm talking about.
I never saw Thirst.
I don't think I saw Thirst.
I never even heard of that. Thirst.
Oh, the original Poltergeist.
Yeah, we've seen all of them.
1 and 2
3.
is good. 3 is like a made-for-TV version or something. 3 is not good.
No, 3 was 3 was kind of lame.
1 and 2 was good.
Yeah,
and especially the performance by, I can't remember the actor's name, the old man, the minister in that film is extremely creepy. He really is. Are you lost? Does your mother know where you are?
Street Trash. I never heard of it. It was disgusting and funny. Bums drink beer and turn into melting corpse.
Oh, goodness.
No, I never heard of that one.
White Chicks on Kentucky Mud. That was a terrible film.
I never saw it, but I heard of it.
Yeah.
No, I don't like those brothers. The Wayans brothers.
You know what sucks too? They can actually act.
The one brother, Marlon, can. I don't know about Sean, but Marlon was in Requiem for a Dream. And man,
He'll break your heart. Yeah.
Yeah, he played that role.
Yeah.
And I saw him on a talk show, and the host brought that up and was asking him, hey, you know, you were in such and such a movie, because he started out as a stage actor, and he was like, you know, he wanted to do the comedy with his brother.
Yeah.
And that's what he got into. But he's actually a really good actor.
Not only that, but that's where the money is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Liam Neeson.
Not Liam Neeson, Leslie Nielsen.
Nielsen. I said what I said Liam Neeson for. But yeah, Leslie Nielsen was a dramatic actor, but he wasn't making any money at it, and that's why he started doing comedies because he was like, yeah, now I'm getting paid and I'm having a good time, so makes sense.
Interview with a Vampire, they made that into a TV show. I'm kind of scared to
No, you don't want to watch it.
that.
I don't
I
think you
like the
do.
movie. The movie was good,
Uh-huh.
but I think they're going to do something weird with the TV show because they already made the one guy black, and he wasn't in the book.
Yeah, we saw Chud.
Yeah, we saw Chud.
Chud was all right.
Yeah.
And I saw Phantasm also. We saw Phantasm.
It's a fall count. That sounds familiar. Devil wasn't. I think we saw that. Devil's Reign.
Is Ernest Borgnine in it?
Yeah.
As like a priest.
Yeah, we saw I'm Going to Get You, Sucker. We saw that. That movie was funny. I'm Going to Get You, Sucker.
Yeah.
That movie was good. Burial Ground.
Yeah, we saw that. But they had to do that because he suckled her. His mother. It was an Oedipus complex thing going on.
That was the movie.
That's the real reason they used the
midget.
Because there was an Oedipus complex thing going on in a side plot, and there was some physical contact.
Yeah.
And so they were like, "Oh, we can't have a kid doing this." But the midget looks ridiculous
because he looked like he about 50 years old.
Yeah, but he's an 8-year-old, and they dubbed his voice, and it's just like, what the hell? And he was weird.
He looked creepy,
freaking weird.
And then he all rubbing up on his mama and stuff. And
Mama,
it's like,
do you remember when you used the breastfeeding? I told you to stop that. I don't want to talk about that anymore. Mama. Oh man,
that movie was creepy.
That was a creepy film.
I was like, oh my
god. Oh. Oh, Kay Munin has to go.
Hey, okay, Kay.
Oh well. Thanks for joining us. But oh man, that's terrible. A couple of good miniseries.
Okay, miniseries.
Rose Red.
Rose Red.
I liked really Rose Red.
Yeah.
Stephen King again.
And The Stand.
The Stand was good. Yeah, I wouldn't call that a horror film though.
No. No, it's just kind of creepy.
Rose Red is closer to that, but I liked Rose Red. I like the way that my favorite part about Rose Red is the guy who he's a medium and he sees spirits and he's so used to it. He's like ultra casual, like he's laying in bed and he's eating ice cream, and then this this rotting like corpse is like rising up and stuff, and he glances and he was like, "Do you mind? Can I at least finish?" Because he's so used to it. And I could see that. Instead, because in the movies, they're always portrayed as always being freaked out. And I'm like, after about 20 years, I think you'd be able
kind of used to it.
Yeah, you'd be able to take it by then. And he's so freaking casual with seeing the ghosts,
Salem's Lot was good.
Yeah, Salem's Lot was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to bring that one up, Dan. Storm of the Century.
Yeah, Storm of the Century.
Storm of the Century.
Yeah, I like that one.
And that's the one that was written
Killer Babies
for television. It was never a book, right?
No, because I tried to buy the book. It was written
not a book.
for
TV. It's a legitimate straight up script.
Yeah.
But I like how the guy, you can't tell him anything. He knows. Like if you try to say anything to him, he knows what your deepest, darkest secret is immediately. I remember Tremors.
Wasn't it like 4 or 5 movies and it had that guy?
Like
the first 2 was fine. Then it got weird.
And the first one had Kevin Bacon, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like somebody saw Dune and said, "Yeah, I can one up this." Or did Dune come out first, or did Tremors come out first?
I don't know. I never saw Dune. CNN.
Yeah, there you go.
Toys of Terror. I never heard of Toys of Terror.
He said
was
that
another
CGI
one I started
was
watching. Then the CGI look. I never heard of that. CNN is a horror network with all horror shows on it. It's kind of
Cool. Night Flyer? I don't know. Did we see Night Flyer?
I think we did see Night Flyer. I think we did. I think so.
Where are we?
The Island of Dr. Moreau we saw with Michael York and Burt Lancaster, one of my favorites. Yeah, we saw
Dr. Moreau.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a classic story.
Yeah.
And there's Sequential Geek is here.
Hey, what's up, Sequential Geek?
Sequential Geek. Sequential Geek. I said it wrong.
Sequential Geek. Motel Hell. No, we didn't see that.
No.
Monday said, hey, Edwin.
Oh, Edwin,
Now
you're
I'm back
at work?
to work. Okay.
Shame on you, Edwin. No, that's okay, though. My friend Widely says it was called Asylum.
What was?
Motel Hell was called Asylum?
I saw a movie, Asylum, about this woman. She was put in an asylum because she went crazy, and she watched her son drown because she was having this mental breakdown and all kinds of stuff.
Extreme Zone wants to know where our costumes are. Now, I've never worn a Halloween costume, even as a kid. I was talking about that earlier because I wasn't allowed to go trick or treating or anything like that. No Halloween parties, none of that. I never had any of it.
I never went to a Halloween party like as an adult. As a kid, we had them in school. I never went to one as an adult, but I only had a costume as a young kid, and then we started just going trick or treating with our regular clothes on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In your regular clothes.
Yeah.
And hey, I have a couple of comic books.
Oh, Dave, you got some comic books.
I got a couple of comic books. I just thought you'd enjoy this.
Out of all of these movies, which one actually scare you? The Exorcist freaked me out. Saw it when I was 12. You know, the movie, honestly, that actually scared me. 2 movies, and I was a big fan of horror movies as a kid and as a younger adult. And I never used to see anything that scared me until I saw Blair Witch. The first one.
Really?
The first one scared me when I saw. Yeah, when that boy at the end was standing in the corner. Hey, William, he's back.
Oh, he's back.
He was standing in the corner. That thing freaked me out. And Jeepers Creepers. I don't know why Jeepers Creepers scared me, but the first one, I was like, whoa, that movie scared. But nothing else. I've seen a lot of horror films. Okay, go ahead. Everybody's waiting.
Yeah, there is Bob Hope, number 99, 1966. Their Halloween cover there, where you see the basic Universal monsters. If that's coming in good there. 12-cent copy.
Hank says that go ahead, get your next one ready.
Yeah.
Hank says that it hurts his heart that you weren't allowed to go trick or treating.
What are you gonna do?
And
not like I can go back now.
Extreme Zone says Blair Witch scared them, and The Grudge. I never saw The Grudge. And The Fly, when the woman gave birth to.
The nightmare where she gave birth to the big maggot. Oh yeah.
Jeepers Creepers is a demonic gargoyle. Go ahead.
And Jerry Lewis, number 83, which is actually from August.
Halloween covers.
1964. If anybody's ever seen those, not the type of like Halloween-ish covers that most people would have ever seen. I just thought that would be interesting. The Adventures of Jerry Lewis. And so it started off as Martin and Lewis, but of course when they broke up, DC kept Jerry and scratched Dean Martin from the comic book.
Hold on. Somebody said something I wanted to comment on. Oh, Sequential Geek.
Yeah.
Yeah, the real grittiness of Blair Witch, because they made it look like it was a documentary, that it was real.
Yeah.
They had the little camera, and I think that's what made it good. And I saw the second one thinking it was going to recapture that, and then they made it like this full-on studio production, and it just wasn't good. It didn't catch the scariness and the creepiness of it, because the original one, that was like real, like all of the things that happened in the movie could actually happen in real life.
Yeah.
Because they were just out there. The girl threw away the map. They got lost. They run up onto this house.
Because people are stupid.
Yeah, I don't know why she got rid of that darn map. But it just made it like real, and I guess that's what made it kind of scary, because those things could actually happen. And I remember when I was a kid, I used to love watching Unsolved Mysteries, and Unsolved Mysteries used to scare me too.
Mm-hmm.
But because it was something that could action, and I guess that's why I don't get too scared when I see horror films, because it's so unrealistic.
Yeah.
It's like, no, none of that's going to happen, so it scared me. Now, if it's a lot of rats or roaches, now that's a different story. The opening of the original Chainsaw Massacre.
Or like Squirm.
Oh God, I had to turn Squirm off. Well, just the part when they were in the bar and it started filling up with all of those what maggots or worms or whatever that was.
Yeah.
The most that movie scared me when I was a kid. Okay, y'all talking to yourself. Okay.
And what was the other one? Because there's another one like Squirm, but it's slugs. I think it's called Slugs.
I'm not sure. Did I see that?
Yeah, the slugs burn people. Yeah, we saw it. Giant black slugs.
That sounds familiar. Squirm was on not Riff Track. It was on Mystery Science, and it was funny.
Yeah.
Because they did that on Mystery Science. Which movie scares you, David?
I don't know. I don't, cause I'm not a huge fan of like the gory stuff, but I don't know. Actually, I don't know if any of them ever really scared me, because I kind of know it's not real.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I didn't really watch that kind of stuff when I was a kid. The Blob, the '80s version of the Blob's pretty good. The '50s version's kind of lame, but it's still fun.
Isn't that the one with Steve McQueen, and he's like 50 years old, acting like he's 17?
Yeah, he's like the world's oldest teenager.
Yeah, true.
Dating this little teeny bopper.
I love true crime. David doesn't like me watching true crime stuff, but I love to watch true crimes shows and game shows. I like watching game shows. Let's see.
I remember that Sequential Geek, the callers in the house. Yeah, I remember.
Check your children.
Yeah,
the callers in the house, man.
Oh, the Funko Pop Halloween masks. Those look ridiculous.
They look like those
with the big gray area in the center.
They look like the ones that used to be out before.
Evil Dead was fun.
That's what Ash with the arm.
Ash of the Evil Dead, yeah. Although when he got as far as Ash of the Evil Dead, it was more like horror comedy.
When a Stranger Calls. Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah.
See, that movie was dumb because it's like, I don't know. It seemed like she could have did more in that movie to not. Well, she didn't get killed. I think she figured it out, but it just seemed like she could have did more.
Well.
Children. Oh yeah, People Under the Stairs was good, and Children of the Corn. Shaky camera work at the toy show scares me.
With Michael Ironsides, the original Scanners. Yeah, it's hard to. I think it's kind of hard to find those on disc.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Scanners films, but yeah, the original one had Michael Ironsides. Was he in the sequel?
It had a Scanners too.
Yeah,
I liked him in what was the Wishmaster?
No, that wasn't Michael Ironsides.
Oh, that wasn't him?
No.
That guy's voice was
His voice
similar.
was really really rich.
Yeah.
What is your wish? He was great. That movie was messed up.
Hank says Funko Pop scare me.
Yeah. There was a sequel to that too. Wishmaster. Wasn't there two of them? 2 or 3?
Flatliners were good. They made a remake of Flatliners a few years back.
Tourist Trap with Chuck Connors. Is that the one where he's telepathic and he's like controlling the mannequins?
They got that on Riff Track.
Oh yeah.
Michael Ironside was in V.
Yeah, he was. He played the mercenary in V. He was in a lot of stuff. I think his biggest film was playing the villain in Total Recall. He was the mercenary in Total Recall.
Yeah, okay. I remember
Mhm.
that. Okay, I guess because I heard the voice, I thought that was him in Wishmaster, but you said
Johnny
that
wants
wasn't.
to know if we ever read the original Frankenstein or Dracula. Yeah, I read both of those.
I never read it.
Bram Stoker's Dracula and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Mm-mm.
I've read both of them. Very drastically different than anything you've seen on film.
He was in Top Gun. Who V was a great
It
show.
was a
Yeah,
great show.
the
The
miniseries.
original miniseries was very well written. The second miniseries is tolerable. The actual weekly series, which only had one season, was not good. But the original
Oh.
miniseries was very well presented.
Okay, William says not working on Facebook. We trying to figure it
isn't?
out, but we don't
Okay.
know how to. So we got to mess around with that. But the majority of the people come here anyway. I hope a lot of people didn't go to Facebook, but
Yeah.
we'll figure out why it's not working on Facebook because we wanted just in case somebody came on Facebook
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
can interact with us too. But
So we hope we didn't screw anybody up.
I know. I never saw Kazam.
No. And he was in Man of Steel also.
Who?
Shaquille O'Neal played Man of Steel because he's a Superman clone, but he's a black guy.
No,
And he was in that film. That was terrible. Because he acts in in the films, he acts about as well as he does in the commercials.
He's not that bad.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
He's good in that Ink commercial he got out now.
Oh, he let Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. That was that was a Hanna-Barbera production.
Yep. Yeah, the original Light of the Living Dead was good. They remade it. I think they're going to do another remake of that. I saw
with all women. I don't know.
Probably.
How many Omens were there? I think they ran off like 4 or 5 of them.
I think it went to more than that. Yeah, the Omen.
Yeah,
it was a lot. And wasn't that the one with the Damien, the little kid?
Yes.
Damien, yeah.
And he had the 3 6s, like scar on top of his head over the hairline.
Yeah. 2006. 6. Yeah. Sean Heston, the Omega Man. The man, didn't we?
Who?
Omega Man.
Omega Man.
Mm-hmm.
Omega Man.
With Charlton Heston.
Charlton Heston, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a remake of Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Rosemary Baby. Yeah. They remade that too.
Yeah, with the girl from Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't see the remake, but I do have it on DVD because it came with the set of the original, and then that one was in it. Yeah,
that was a creepy film. He has his father's eyes. What have you done to my baby? That was a mess.
Yeah.
Charlton Heston and Omega Man was interesting. That was he had an interracial relationship in that film too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Candyman was actually filmed, in Cabrini Green. Scary True Story. People actually came out. Hold on. People actually came out of mirrors to different apartments because buildings were really bad. Yeah. We saw the remake or the continuation of Candyman. It was awful. The one that came out like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, the new one, the sequel is terrible.
Where it is the son or the little boy is now Candyman because it transfers over.
Yeah. And they completely changed the entire concept of the original plot.
Yeah, because we went back and watched the original one just to kind of compare it to see if they kind of just kept it kind of streamlined, and they didn't. I was working on my house in upstate New York before cable. All I had to read was a copy of The Shining. Couldn't finish, contracted the rest of the job out.
Some of those books are like it's got like 1,000 pages in it.
Yeah. The Last Man on Earth, both based on I Am Legend. Oh, yeah.
Oh, backwards, rather, because I Am Legend is a remake of those films also. And really, another one?
Um,
Come on now,
I know.
enough already.
I heard the new Halloween Ends okay wasn't great though.
What do you expect? I mean, how far can you overplay all of that?
I mean, like I said in Halloween, the 2000 version, they
Hmm.
chopped Michael's head off. They blew him up in the second one, and we still got movies. So
Yeah, I know. Robert says to stay away from. Well, most remakes are not good. It's rare that you can pull off a remake. Like I had said earlier, the remake or reboot of the producers was well done,
mhm.
but most of the time they
And the
blow it.
thing,
Yeah, the '80s version of the thing was a great. It was an upgrade from the original.
mhm.
So it's rare that they can pull that off. Um, what the fourth one had the guy from Jurassic. I've only ever seen the original Jurassic Park. I never saw any of the other ones.
I never seen
I saw
any
the very
Jurassic
first
Park.
Jurassic Park, and I played the game on Sega Genesis, which is a pain in the butt.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it is, because you can't kill any of the dinosaurs. You can only tranquilize them, and they don't stay asleep. They get up like 10 seconds after you shoot them.
There was good explanation to that. It was Mike. It wasn't Michael. It was a guy in his mask. You mean in the new movie? In the Halloween Kills? Still, I mean,
Just end it, please.
I was hoping in the last one that came out, the one before this, that they were gonna explain
Uh-huh.
what happened. Like whatever her name is, I can't remember her name, that her and Michael would talk, and Michael would actually speak and say, this is what's going on with me, this is why I'm killing up everybody. And that didn't happen. So to me it was like, what's the point in this? Because nothing is getting accomplished. You don't know why he's going around killing up everybody.
Yeah.
The only one that kind of almost came close was, I think it was Halloween 4, when he met his little niece, and the little niece tried to talk to him, and he showed some emotion talking to the niece. I think it was in Halloween 4. It might have been 5. But that's the only one that showed any real, like, emotion.
Mhm.
Like, maybe we're going to get some kind of answers. And I thought when Rob Zombie did his, he was going to answer some questions. He kind of did, because he showed more of Michael's life, you know, as a kid, and he was killing up all of the dogs and doing kind of stuff like
Yeah.
that. So you thought you was going to get something, but you really didn't. So it's like what we talked about earlier with these modern films. They have no point. They just start off just killing. You don't know what's going on. Why is he killing up all of these people?
And some of the original ones are really well done. Even the original Halloween, which had no blood in it,
Mm-hmm.
was brilliant. It
Yeah.
was simple and brilliantly done. And then the part 2, he doesn't die at the end because he's supposed to die at the end of part 2. The two were written together.
Yeah, they
It's-
were written
It
as
was
one.
It was supposed to be one film. It's too long, so they split it. Well, okay, we'll do this part. If it pulls off, we'll finish it. And it worked. It worked out, and that's why in the end he gets blown up by Donald Pleasance.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be it. That was supposed to be the end. That was a really well done film. The
Yeah.
rest of them, I watch them and it's just like, what am I looking at?
Yeah, because in part 3, I think it was 3, he was staying with the blind guy. The blind guy kept him for like a year, and then
Yeah.
he kills the blind guy. And it's like, okay, this guy cared for you for like a year.
Yeah, and
Why you kill him?
the Rob Zombie reboot too. That's the same thing with Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
And I was like, if he kills Danny Trejo, I'm ready to walk out on this, because I don't know. I it's just got frustrated with it. But Johnny was asking me favorite horror video game. Dead Space.
I never played
Not
a
the
horror
last
video
one, though.
game.
The last one was too much. But yeah, the first I think was the best of that series.
The psychology behind why villains do the things they do is what I like most about horror movies. Yeah, but then they don't really tell you much of anything. In the original Friday the 13th, you knew what was going on. Mama was doing the killing.
Yeah.
Because her son was killed. Okay, I got that. I understand why she killing up all of the kids because they were messing around when they were supposed to be watching the kids in the, swimming. All right. That's understandable. But now we just get you open up and it's just killing it like in Saw. The first one that kind of gave you some background, they tried to give you some understanding, and then after that it just kind of went off the rails.
Sure.
So I thought. But
Yeah, Dan,
whatever.
Wrath of Khan is the best Star Trek film ever made, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah.
It's the best Star Trek film ever made, even though Ricardo Montalban and William Shatner did not meet.
Oh, they didn't.
No, everything they did was they were filmed separately. And Ricardo actually regretted that because he said if they could get face to face, they could have done. He thinks they could have done an even better performance, perhaps, because they were on a different ship, so it was there was no need for them to be in the same room even. And they were like, yeah, if we could have got together, I think we could have done even better. But yeah, it was the best Star Trek film, period. I think.
RA has to go. Time to go hand out some to the vagabonds.
Oh, did you chocolate coat some Brussels sprouts?
No, he did not chocolate coat Brussels out.
Come on.
And he got knocked off by the Predator. Well, at least in the Predator, you know that they're aliens. Okay, that kind of give you some reasoning. I guess I always try to look for a logic behind or understanding behind why people do what they do. I guess that's why I like true crime shows, because I like to know what's going on, what a person thinking, why they're doing stuff. But in horror films, especially the newer ones, you ain't getting no answers.
Yeah,
no answers.
Lawnmower Man, yeah, right. No, the animation in that doesn't quite hold up though.
Oh, y'all were talking about video games, horror ones, The Suffering and Manhunt.
I don't really have a lot of that. The one that I liked was Dead Space. Yeah, never make another movie. Well, he can only cast his wife and everything.
I saw. The only movie by him I saw was.
I better get that.
What?
The door.
Oh.
She went upstairs. She popped that door open.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The only movie I saw with Rob Zombie was Halloween. I was starting to watch another one, but it had the teenagers in there and they were cursing their parents out and just being rude and disrespectful. So I turned it off. I didn't finish watching it.
Yeah, that film had a lot of foul language in it.
I don't know if Snoop was in a horror movie. I know Eddie Murphy was in Blackula, where he was Dracula.
That was a comedy.
Blackula in the Hood or in New York or something.
The original Blackula was fun. Blaxploitation film, of course, but it was still fun.
I had been watching her on Kids.
Yeah.
She would. Well, I mean, she sent her kid to summer camp, so that's why she got upset. She's like, okay, I sent my kid to summer camp, and y'all messing around. You're not watching him, and he drowned. So she goes around killing up everybody.
That's that counselor's fault, not every counselor and in every camp from that point forward.
But she only killed up everybody in that one camp. She killed all the counselors. So
it's a really creepy one.
What?
The one with that boy, but he's dressed as a girl. They think he's a female. What was the name of that?
Sleepaway Camp.
That one was weird. Especially with the superimposed girl's head, because they used a girl. The superimposed girl's head on that boy's body.
And the boy was naked.
And I'm like, I really want to see a naked teenage boy in this movie.
And all his little things sticking out. Sleepaway Camp. And then they had.
How could there be a sequel?
Yeah, they had a couple of sleepaway camps.
No, we don't have no if we have any trick-or-treaters, we have no idea.
Yeah, because we're downstairs.
Yeah, we're downstairs.
Blackula saw the trailer for that one the other day.
That's a fun movie, actually. It's kind of well done, but for a blaxploitation film, most blaxploitation films are really cheesy, but some of them hit the mark. Like what was it? Shaft. and I think there's 3 Shaft films.
Uh-huh.
That's a blaxploitation film, but they pulled it off. You know, it was a good film.
What was the one we saw? It was that black guy. He's like the thespian actor, and he was like a Dracula or something. And he was like in the movie. We saw it on Riff Track, I think, either Riff Track or something like that. And oh, you know where we saw it at?
Where did we see it?
Newcastle.
Newcastle.
We saw it
After
on
Dark.
Newcastle.
Newcastle After Dark is a channel we could recommend. They play a lot of films that you can't find often.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
They play a lot of those B horror films, and they're actually pretty good because you'll end up seeing a lot of films you never seen.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good. And they come out with a movie a month, but in the month of October they come out with one a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Samuel Jackson /
Oh, the Samuel L. Jackson. No, not that Shaft. I mean the original 70s Shaft with Richard Roundtree.
Yeah.
Richard Roundtree, not Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Cusshard. Here, who remembers these?
David gonna show us some toys.
Show and tell. If I can get the bag open, because I got these in a bag, and I want to see who remembers these. And these are, yeah.
What the heck is that?
These are made by Flexi Corporation, Flexies, and they are bendies. You know, they got a wire in them.
Oh, okay.
And that's supposed to be Cerberus. You see, it's 3 dog heads actually, so that's Cerberus the dog from Greek mythology. And these were sold in 1980s, in like 1980, 1981, and they came in like a countertop box store display. And I've got a few of these. Some of these you might recognize better, like the Scarecrow here. And they were also sometimes available inside those eggs inside of the gumball machines.
Uh-huh.
You know, you put a quarter in. Who remembers these? Medusa.
I never seen those before.
It's like Disco Medusa because she's wearing that jumper. You've never seen these?
Cool.
The Mummy.
Yeah.
These are real clean examples too.
Favorite Mad Magazine horror cover. Mine is Mad 59.
The Hydra. I don't know who he is. I doubt that's Dracula, but maybe some kind of ghoul. With his painted on cape. Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, these are all of the horror monsters?
Yeah, they're
Universal
all
monsters?
Some of them are Universal monster knockoffs, if you will, and you know, some are Greek mythology and stuff like that. Little Homies, Sequential remembers those.
That's what these are? Little Homies?
No, these are not Little Homies, but he was mentioning that he likes those. Gumball vendor prizes.
You remember they used to have the card in the vending machine, and it had like the rings and necklaces and all that stuff.
There's a market for those cards.
Oh, yeah?
You can find them on eBay.
With the stuff still stuck to them?
Cover that up there. You know, she is naked. See, they articulated her breasts.
Oh my God.
And that's a harpy, obviously.
Hold on. Some people asking us something. All right, hold on. Let me catch up.
George says he has that mummy, he thinks.
Why are toy companies putting tie downs on action figures inside the packing these days?
Those paper tie downs?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're being conscious of the environment. Instead of using the straps, they're putting those like the paper twisties on them now.
The 14th Doctor is Dr. David Tennant.
Oh, they're bringing him back?
Yeah.
I heard something about that, yeah. Well, they hopefully they learned their lesson after turning him into a woman, because that didn't go over well.
My favorite Universal monster, I think, is I like Dracula, and yeah, I think I like Dracula the best because I've seen a bunch of the Dracula films. I don't really care to.
You didn't see Universal Dracula though?
No, but I've seen some.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You've seen Dracula.
I've seen a Dracula film.
Do I have any werewolf figures? I don't think so.
I think I have the mummy figure. Okay. David and LP, did y'all with Johnny Depp? We actually even saw 2 Sleepy Hollows this week.
Yes, we did.
2 different ones because it's 3. We saw the one with Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
And then
which was a made-for-TV special.
Yeah, that one came out like in 1980.
Also starring the guy who played Mr. Woodman from Welcome Back, Kotter.
And then we also saw the one that came out in I think it was 1989. That one was really funny, and because of the guy that played Ichabod Crane, he was just hilarious.
He was so wet. He was.
yeah, he was pretty wet. Hey, out of sight.
He was wet.
He was
ridiculous.
He was. And but I have seen the one with Johnny Depp. David hasn't, and it's not screaming for free, so he's not gonna see it unless he buy it.
Yeah.
Plastic windows on action figures is going bye-bye. Already started with Hasbro.
And you know, if you would, that's neither here nor there because they've always done it boxed. There's plenty of examples of action figures that came boxed, but they, you know, even the original G.I. Joes were in a what they called the coffin box.
Yeah.
But you started off with a window, and now you took that window away, and you've upset your consumer base.
Yeah.
And what you're claiming you're doing it for doesn't make sense. Okay, we're taking the little plastic window out, but you're using more paper now.
Yeah.
So it's tit for tat. What's the difference? Give your customer what they want if you want to sell the product, which is probably why Ghost Rider is about to. Anybody know where Ghost Rider is at? I think it closes tonight. And I think that one is not going to make it at all.
No, we didn't see Drag Me to Hell. We didn't see that. We don't watch too much modern horror. We watch some, but we're very selective. And if it gets off of the rails in the first 10-15 minutes, we turn it off.
Yeah.
But no, we did not see that. I saw some Doctor Who assistant figures at my local collectible store. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up. They don't make
the Dapole ones
movie because they're good. They target and all. Yeah, that's true.
And then screw it up.
Yeah. Happy Halloween, Jeff.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
That 3 3/4 inch retro one. That's the one that would have pulled it off if they had done that one instead of this modern one. Yeah.
Yeah, I never seen.
She never saw it.
I never really seen, honestly, any of the Universal Monster movies. To tell you the truth, I've never seen any of them. I like them. I like the way they look. I remember always seeing them, but I've never seen the movies. I have a set of Universal Monsters action figures. I wanted to collect the Funko Pops, but I didn't get them. I would like to see the movies. I just haven't, and I honestly don't even think about it to see if they're screaming somewhere that I could see it.
That's a good one. The old Disney shorts are fantastic. Back when the Magic Kingdom still had some magic in it instead of fairy dust. But yeah, the old stuff. I can't stand anything modern Disney now. It's terrible. But the old cartoons and shorts, we saw the one the other day, The House.
Oh God, that one was sad.
It's well done though, and well drawn.
Yeah,
very well drawn.
The Little House.
The Little House. That was.
It's on YouTube if you can look it up. The Little House.
Yeah. Those old Disney shorts from like the 40s, 50s, 60s, they're fantastic.
I like to see people still holding up traditions. He said they watched the Monster Squad as a family traditions, and a lot of time people don't do family traditions anymore. David, you think Funko will stop window boxes? If they do, they may as well just shut the doors.
Yeah, because that's the only thing holding them together.
I mean, because people buy it, the ones that display it in the box, display it because of the window. If you take that window away, all of the in the box collectors are going to stop, and it's a lot. I mean, you might have 50-50, or you might lean, but you're going to lose a whole market of people if you take that window away.
Yeah. I think that would be a mistake.
Yeah.
To try to do that, to try to be that
American
P,
Billboard.
because Hasbro's only doing it to be PC, and
Yeah.
people know it, and they just won't admit it.
Yeah. I have the NECA American Werewolf figure. Love the werewolf. Let's
Said
see.
it's like an action statue.
This is not Halloween related. If you have time in another video, or can you reference some other video to help? But I need to put my comics in storage. Any advice in finding the right one? A lot of thefts. Oh, you mean a storage facility?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You need something that's indoors.
Yeah, one of those indoor ones
Where
that you walk into the building.
It's like a closet, and there's there's an attendant. Because yeah, I know what he means. A lot of those outdoor ones, sometimes they get broken into, which shouldn't happen.
Yeah, it shouldn't. But now they have a lot of the ones, like he said, is indoors, and you got an attendant, and you go through the attendant to get there. But I mean, I guess you could still find issues with that too.
Yeah.
But that's about the best way. I've never seen anybody on YouTube, because I do watch a lot of people storing it, but they're storing it in their houses. How they make cash, put them in this bag, that bag, and all kinds of stuff. But I've never seen anybody talk about putting them in a full storage unit.
Oh, George, gotta go.
Okay, George, thank you for stopping by. But just make sure whatever you use is climate controlled, and like I said, it's climate controlled.
Yeah, Robert, the classic Tom Baker, the one in the outfit that I wish I had gotten.
Okay.
But the thing with that is, though, it's a complete remake of the original version that Big Chief put out, and the sculpt is terrible. Take a close look at the sculpt on that. It's not.
Oh.
It doesn't look like him. It's not good. But the sculpt on the new version that has the second incarnation outfit looks really good. But so I'd be basically buying the outfit, which I don't want to do. Oh yeah.
The plastic tie down. It's like, why are you gonna put plastic tie downs, but then you're getting rid of the window boxes?
To make it hard to pull the figure out. But people will still do it.
Yeah. George, did we say bye to him?
Yes.
Okay. I'm relocating from Denver to Detroit area, and I'm kind of scared. Talk about scary. Yeah.
Yeah. Denver's been a mess for a while.
Denver's pretty though.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty. I've been to Denver once. I've been to the Colorado. Well, I lived in Colorado for a minute, in Colorado Springs.
No, he's going to Detroit.
Oh,
right?
He moving from Denver, going to Detroit.
To Detroit, right?
Oh, that's what he said. I know it said something about Detroit and Denver. Oh, Detroit. Well, you might get a house cheap.
Melody said she lost all of her friends since 2020. They weren't your friends then.
No, they wasn't.
So it's okay.
I'm relocating from Denver, to the Detroit, and I'm scared that you're moving to
There's
Detroit.
There's a lot of abandoned property there.
But you might get a good house cheap, though.
Yeah, that's true.
You might. Yeah. I'm sorry, Detroit. Ooh. Maybe you can go to the outside, a little outside area. He said Denver is not pretty.
Uh-huh.
Really? Yeah.
Jeff says, asking about collecting Police Academy. Those are terrible figures. The action figures from Police Academy were terrible. But those were based on the cartoon. They weren't based on the movies or the TV show. There's 8 films and a 1-season wonder television series and a Saturday morning cartoon based off of a one-hit wonder film that wasn't that good. There, I said it. Police Academy was not that great of a film to begin with. It's okay. But,
what you can do there, I'm glad I opened up that one, because I've moved a lot. And everything that I had that was precious to me that I didn't want the movers to touch, I packed them myself.
Yeah.
I packed them myself, and I packed it in a way you couldn't see it. So then once the movers got there, all they had to do was pick up the box. So I know you might have long boxes or something like that. Maybe you can move the comics from long boxes to like a different style of box
Mhm.
to kind of hide it.
Yeah, put those boxes inside something else.
Yeah, or put the long boxes inside something else. But yeah, I've done that because I've moved a lot, and everything that matters, either I drove it in the car to where I gotta go, or if it was somewhere I had to fly to, I packed them myself, and I packed it in a way where you didn't know what it was, because the mules are just gonna pick up the boxes.
And then when you seal it up, the new carton, write dishes on it.
Yeah,
Because it'll be about heavy enough and nobody's going to open that.
yeah, or put books on there, you know, and then name them like Bibles, children's books, something like that. They ain't gonna touch no Bibles and children books.
Yeah.
Put something on there, something weird that you know nobody gonna touch that. Christmas decorations, you know, stuff like that. Label a box something weird, but something that you would remember.
Jeans.
And no, jeans ain't that heavy, but yeah, dishes, pots, pans, something like that. But pack that yourself. And if you're driving and it is not too much to put into the car or whatever you go, drive it there.
No, put the short boxes inside something else.
Yeah.
Inside of another crate, and then write dishes on it.
Mm-hmm.
Melody wanted, was it Moondust wanted to know if I remember Friday the 13th, the TV series. Yeah, that was a Canadian show, and it was a an antique shop, and everything that was sold from the antique shop was cursed. And the guy who was the current owner of it is someone who was seeking to reverse that. So he would go through the contract list and find everybody and reacquire the item back so he could dispose of it properly.
Yeah.
Because it was killing people or making their lives miserable or something. Johnny wants to know if I think Caustic Plastic will make a 6-scale Frankenstein. I don't know, but after that coffin, we've learned our lesson.
I'm hoping that Mondo would go back to the Universal Monsters, because they did the Creature from the Black Lagoon. So I was like, oh man, they're gonna do it, and then I'll be able to get a 6-scale Universal Monster.
Yeah, that was the direction she was going in, and then
they stopped.
They just haven't got back to it. Yeah, moving's not fun for anybody.
Moving is awful.
Especially if we had to do this, because we would be really anal about making sure everything was careful. Because, you know, you don't want anything bad to happen to your stuff.
Yeah, our toys, we moved them. And like I said, we packed them ourselves. We put them in something that didn't look like a toy box, and it was labeled something else. So even if you saw it, you touched it, you moved it, you didn't know what was in that, because we packed it up tight and we I bought wooden crates. That's what I got.
Sure.
And then we packed them up and then nailed it down and then labeled the crates as something. But like I said before, I've moved and I've put things in boxes, and you know, just different types of boxes. And that's what you have to do. You got to do it yourself, man.
Yeah, I've never seen either of those. Johnny and somebody else talking about Faces of Death or Traces of Death. I've never seen those. I've heard about them, but I've never seen that. So I don't have any experience with them.
What does this say?
Doesn't sound like something I want to see anyways.
That bad. Rocky, John Wayne, Bela Lugosi are nice additions. Yeah, the thing with it was... the figure looks good. The Bela Lugosi figure looks good. It's just the accessories. Like if you just buy the figure and not the accessories, then you're fine. Hey, Ghost Junk.
Just joined us.
Then you're fine. But the problem with the Bela Lugosi was the accessories. The coffin was awful.
They said Ghost Junk says they like the Garfield Halloween special, and that's one of my favorites. One of my favorites, obviously, was
the Peanuts.
Fat Albert.
Oh, the Fat
Albert, which I have up on this channel. And yeah, the Peanuts one's really good too. The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I've got a real soft spot for the original Charles M. Schulz Peanut stuff. Anyways, Jeff's got to go.
Okay, Jeff. See ya.
Help his wife.
Okay.
Help her by shutting the porch light off.
Help her by eating up all the candy.
Shut the porch light off and put the rest of the candy under the bed. Oh, Melody says when they worked at FYE, they would refuse to order Faces of Death for people when they asked for it.
Oh, why?
Because it's video footage of actual murders and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How you
Yeah.
get that done?
I don't know. There are things like that have been recorded. Somebody
Oh.
just put it together into like a montage of a film, I guess.
Junk food. There is nothing for human beings to do here.
Yeah, Apple
It
owns the
sucks
peanuts now. That's correct.
so bad. Everything requires a car. Oh wow, Denver. Well, I was in Denver in the 90s. No, Apple owns that. I hope they don't screw it up.
Well, they've owned it for a minute, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Conan, they canceled the Conan, the original Schwarzenegger film. Conan.
Oh.
Yeah, Extreme Zone says, "Here's your treat, kids. Get a job and buy your own candy. Go shoplift it like everyone else."
No.
Yeah, Robert, because I had that on pre-order and they canceled it, and I don't know why, but but yeah, and Ghost Junk, I had put a lot of people who are watching this now probably know about it, but we did the Fat Albert Halloween special, but I spliced in period commercials at the proper commercial breaks. It was actually a lot of work to put that together. But so when you'll see the intro, and then when the black fades, you'll see retro 70s and 80s Halloween themed commercials, and then it'll come back up. And I time slotted it at almost exactly 30 minutes between, because it's only about 24 to 26 minutes of the cartoon, and the rest is ads. So I spliced the original ads in with it.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys ever watch Hercules and Xena? I used to watch Xena. I watched Xena a little bit. Never Hercules though. Let's see. I picked up some 3-5 figures from Spin Master at Walmart on the way home. Good window blister packing. Okay, Batman figures. I tried to get some discounted candy today, but nope. It was gone.
Yet. No. And they order less now, I think, because there's less people doing all of that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ghost Junk says old commercials are the best. That's a bonus. Yeah,
we watch them during Christmas time.
And I have a bunch of holiday commercials. Like that Thanksgiving one was tough to find. Thanksgiving themed commercials from the 80s. It was very hard. But I have one for Thanksgiving. I got one for Halloween. I got 2 for Christmas. Like hour-long blocks of commercials. And I'm going to be doing more holiday specials. But like I mentioned earlier, I have to be careful because
Hank.
Oh, he has to go?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Have a great Halloween.
Thanks for joining us. But I have to be careful with it because YouTube doesn't like that, and they give me a warning with certain things, like the Fat Albert special. They gave me a warning on that. Said, hey, careful. And I was like, but it's still up, so you can see it.
I don't know. I didn't know Super 7 had Conan figures. I don't remember them. I don't remember seeing them because I knew I wasn't interested in them, so I honestly don't remember them.
They did a Conan homage to the original Conan Marvel comic figure, and then they did a set that was a homage to the first Schwarzenegger Conan film.
I do have the original Mossman, not the Stinkor. They don't have a smell anymore. If they had one, it smelled,
it's dissipated by now.
Yeah. I have the Funko Mossman and Stinkor, and the Stinkor was supposed to have a smell, and it had like a weird smell. It wasn't like awful.
Machine oil.
Yeah. Something like that.
No, Out of Sight said, do I have any Wildcat? No. Didn't Playmates make those? I don't have any Wildcats figures, but I've seen those.
Okay. Hold on. I missed the Hershey Kisses Christmas commercial, the bell. Yeah, I used to like that too.
That's on one of my 80s Christmas commercial compilations.
The
one with the bells.
I like watching the Christmas commercials, during the month of December. I'll go on YouTube and pull them up, and then you can see, and then you just remember, and I forgot how many Kodak commercials it was.
Oh yeah.
It was like a million Kodak commercials, and then some of them they played a local commercials, from the
Like a
local
supermarket or something. Yeah.
supermarket or a local store, department store. Those are always fun, and it just reminds you of the commercials and all of the things, and then you start remember them and you reminisce on times before.
Yeah, because you forget that you probably, for every show you watched, you probably saw that commercial 100 times. And
Yeah.
so when you see it again, it's like, oh, I remember that. But even though, because if you watch old shows that have the original commercials on them,
Hmm.
right? Unlike today, there's no repeats. So
Yeah.
if even if it's the same product, it's a different commercial. Not like now, where like the one with Shaq with the ink, you
Yeah.
must have seen that 500 times in the last 4 days. They repeat over and over. It's the same ones, and it's like, okay, this ain't cute anymore.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Back in the day, they didn't do it like that.
Yeah. I used to love Dr. Quinn Medicine. When I watched that when it was coming out, and I watched it again. I didn't realize as a kid that it was a love story until later on.
A badly told love story.
Yeah, until I was an adult, because I watched it when it came out, and it was just this woman doctor going to this small town trying to, make it as a doctor. Then I saw it later on, and then, I was like, oh man, this is actually a love story between her and Sully. Then I watched it again, and
Sully could have done better.
I
Just
watched it
saying.
again, and I realized she was the problem. She was the nuisance. People were living and having a good time, living a regular old life, and she just come in rocking the apple cart. So,
Yeah.
but I like that show. I like that show.
Yeah. And Gnomsky says I like to watch those commercial compilations here on YouTube. Yeah, and like I said, I have a few of them. I haven't done one in a while, but yeah, I got a few up on the channel. Those holiday ones are starting to crank up now, especially. And I get a lot of comments on the one for the Thanksgiving. They were like, it's very difficult apparently to find a Thanksgiving compilation.
Yeah. Remember that Michael Jackson image of him making Thriller? He's in the middle of all of the zombies, very telling. That image, he was eaten alive by the industry. He was. All of those stars like that, Michael Jackson, Prince,
Mhm.
and they talked about it in a lot. They made songs about it. Like They Don't Really Care About Us was one of Michael
That
Jackson's
is
ones.
actually a great protest song, and it's
Hey Thor.
totally forgotten. It's totally forgotten that they don't really care about us. If you listen to the words, it's a fantastic protest song. It's the real what protest song do we get? We're not going to take it anymore.
Yeah.
And they're not even. It's not even a protest song.
Yeah.
They Don't Care About Us is a good protest song. Another one that's
In
really good. What?
No, I was going to say the video, because he made two videos.
There's two versions. That's
two
true.
music video. One with him in jail.
Yeah.
And the other one with him in like South America, and he's being attacked.
Yeah. And there's a huge security force holding the crowd back because he's in the middle of the street doing his number. But and the other one is Phil Collins. What's the name of that song?
The Land of Confusion.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the title, but it's something about the Land of the Confusion.
And it's got all those really creepy puppets in it. That's a protest song, and it's excellent if you listen to the lyrics. But no one ever uses that one.
My wife won't pass out candy while I'm at work.
Yeah, that's just an excuse to keep it.
With all the weird connotations. Thriller is a protest. Is it? I never saw it as a protest.
No. They don't really care about us.
Yeah, Michael Jackson has a song called.
Is that the name of the song?
Yeah, They Don't Really Care About Us.
All I have to say is that they don't really care about us, and he's talking about government and the establishment. Basically, they don't care about you. It's all an act, is what he's saying.
Yeah, showbiz in the music industry is cutthroat, and people don't realize that going in, and nobody tells them that. It's like oh yeah, I just want to be a singer. I want to make all this money. I want to be famous. You go on all these shows like America's Got Talent and The Voice and all of this stuff. They don't tell you about how it's really gonna be and all of the pressure that's on you. No, Robert, I don't know nothing about no Xena yell.
But
Um,
he thinks you're Carol Burnett. Carol Burnett used to do the Tarzan yell though.
I remember that.
Yeah. No, Johnny. I could be wrong, but I thought that the best-selling album of all time was the Eagles' Greatest Hits.
Yeah, I thought so. I always heard that.
I could be wrong, but I thought it was.
Oh, yeah, I had
Which
no.
is a great album also. But Thriller was a good album. That's the first album I ever bought myself was Thriller. I bought it from a liquor store. Because when you were a kid, in my era, you could go into a liquor store, buy a pack of cigs. I used to buy cigarettes for my mother. I never smoked, but she used to send me down to the liquor store to buy cigarettes. They'd be like, "What do you want these for?" I said, "My mother sent me down here." Okay, here's a pack of Cool Menthols.
Two old geeks
That's
stayed
how
up.
it was.
He stayed up all night to watch the Michael Jackson Thriller debut.
Me too, and it was debuted on Friday night videos on NBC, correct? At like midnight, I think, Eastern Standard.
My favorite miniseries of all time was The Thornbirds.
I read that book a million years ago, probably when it was published. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's Alexa going off.
I hate that thing.
Alexa is very helpful.
Every time I hear that thing, I want to throw a glass of water on it.
You bet not. You're gonna get me a new one.
I do not like devices spying. It's
I
bad enough I've got a cell phone.
I like miniseries, and it seems like today's TV shows are like miniseries because miniseries was like 4, 5, sometimes 6 episodes
or 2 weeks.
Yeah. And nowadays a season, so they call it, is only 5, 6 episodes, sometimes 8 at the most.
Uh-huh.
And it's like that's like a little miniseries, but I miss miniseries. I used to like it. I used to like watching them. Let's see, different songs, sequential. Okay. Let's see, where are we? I saw Bela Lugosi's grave in January, and I left a wooden stake there. Oh, wow. And when you went to California, I know you went on that grave tour in California, and they still don't care about us.
No, they don't. They never did.
Not the government. They sure don't.
Who asked me who my favorite singer is? I don't know if I have a specific. Robert Plant's really good.
Led Zeppelin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was really good. He had a really excellent range.
Yeah, I like his voice. I think he got a real good voice. I like what's that song? I like Stairway to Heaven. I think he had really good vocals on Stairway to Heaven and I'm Gonna Leave You. I think his vocals was really good on that. I think he meant, but he wasn't really going to leave that woman because he said, I'm thinking about it. His bags wasn't packed yet. It wasn't like that one guy where his
no
woman,
Mariah Carey, forget it.
The one guy where his girl left him and left the door open in the middle of the rain. Now she was going to leave. She left. Robert Plant was thinking about leaving.
Yeah, I think so, Robert.
What?
Asking about the Thornbirds, which was a take on the Scarlet Letter, which is the very first time a priest cheating was put into a novel was the Scarlet Letter.
Yeah. Oh, Led Zeppelin is my favorite band. I like them. I like their music.
They're good. They're really good.
Yeah, they're one of the best. I like Pink Floyd too. Their songs are,
melancholy.
real melancholy. You got to listen to the word. You can't just like casually listen to Pink Floyd. You got to sit down and listen to every single word that they say because they got a lot of meaning. Has anybody mentioned the live gift opening around Christmas? What's that?
Oh yeah, Steve Perry has a really excellent voice. Bad attitude, but a great voice.
Yeah. What's a live gift opening? What's that?
Oh, I guess like doing a Christmas live is what he's talking about.
Oh, okay. Good night. It's my lunchtime.
You gotta go, Edwin?
Okay. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Steve Perry. He got a really good voice, but like David said,
His attitude was atrocious. The band, the managers, the handlers, everybody had to work with him. Couldn't stand him. But and then when they replaced him, they found a guy that was spot on. You couldn't even tell it wasn't Steve Perry.
yeah, and
He
his
was
I think his name
flawless.
was Steve.
His name was Steve something,
Yeah,
but not Perry.
and they kind of look alike because they had the long black
They had the
hair.
mullet.
Shiny Hunter's here.
Hey, Shiny.
Oh, hollowed screams.
Yeah, here we are
I
doing our
always love
live
Steve
stream.
Perry
live
singing.
stream.
Oh, Sherry felt so young and hopeful. Yeah, but
And he had given up on singing too because they found him. They went out and found him on a farm.
yeah, his parents' pig farm in California.
And he was like, "Oh, I when they came in looking for him, he was like, oh, I kind of gave up on singing, but okay."
Because he had auditioned but never made a band, so he gave up on it.
Yeah.
And then they found him.
Air Supply.
I love
Johnny
Air
says.
Supply. I like that guy. I don't know the names of them, but the one that sings in the falsetto, he has a big range. But I've heard him more recently, and you know his voice ain't all that good, so it don't sound
Most
as
of them,
good.
most of them need to quit.
Yeah.
A lot of people getting okie doked by spending hundreds on concert tickets, and they go to the concert, and I don't think people realize they got ghost singers. Because at the same time, this is the trick, and this is the reason why a lot of bands have been backing off recently. They've been canceling tours because they've been getting found out. At the same time the lead singer is singing, they have a backup singer backstage singing in tandem. They're singing at the exact same time. And
okay,
when they
Melody.
Melody's got to go. Okay. When they get to a spot that the singer, Paul McCartney's doing this.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi. God, Pat Benatar. A lot of people, a lot of these big names that are charging a lot. Pat Benatar had seats that were going,
Retro.
had front row seats that were going for $10,000 in Kansas City. And that was the retail price, not a scalper price. And when they get to a pitch they can't do, the control guy, he's cued for it and he'll switch it, and you're hearing the guy in the back. And Kiss was called out because they were doing a mime act. Basically, they weren't singing or playing the instruments. It was all going on pre-recorded, and so they were just following along from a pre-recorded stuff. So they're up on stage going like this, and there's nothing. And you're paying hundreds and hundreds for that. It's ridiculous. But there's so many bands that are doing that, and they're these old school bands that don't have it anymore.
But they won't give up. They refuse to give it up, and it's like you can't do it, and you're robbing your fans from, you know, what they remember, and they're going out there. You trying to run around the stage. You can't run around the stage like you used to. You can't hold a note. You can't carry. So then they turn the music up so loud that you can't hear the singer singing anymore. And it's just awful. And but that's what you get. And people still pay because they want to say, oh, I went to Eagles, I went to Pink Floyd, I went to Pat Benatar, all of these people. And I saw the Eagles in concert some years back, but that was like 10, 15 years ago. No, it was long. Yeah, it's about 15, 16 years ago, but they still sound good 16 years ago. I don't know how they would sound now.
Yeah.
Let me see what that
And what's his name? Oh God, the guy who sings Born in the USA.
Oh, Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, because he's doing it too. And getting called out on it. And he's charging a fortune for tickets. It's insane how much money he's being charged. He's charging rather.
Yeah. But I mean, are they that hard up on money, or they just don't want to leave that lifestyle?
Yeah, and it could be. That's why Ric Flair was wrestling again a couple of weeks back. He was in another match. It's like, dude, are you trying to die in the ring? I mean, I know it's staged, but there's only so much you can take, and his body is taking a beating. He looks terrible.
Then he'll be like the wrestler. Let me see. Got a combat attack set by Hasbro recently. Really neat. Have you seen these before? I don't know. I haven't seen that.
Oh,
You
the
know what they're
60s one?
hmm.
Is that what you're talking about? Who saw who's
But
there's something I saw there.
oh, so no one is going to buy my Kiss comics.
Nope, it's
Nope.
all over. Yeah, Love is a Battlefield is a great song.
Yeah. Ticket prices for any event are getting insane. Bill Burr tickets locally at a casino near me, $300. That's not even anywhere near the stage.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. John Mellencamp. I never cared for John Mellencamp, honestly.
Never jumping the
They didn't like him either. And they were really ready to get rid of him until he came out with Jack and Diane.
Yeah.
When he did that song, and they were like, "Oh, hey, we can actually do something with this," because he had been around, and the studio was ready to dump him.
Yeah.
But then that song took off, and they were like, "Okay, we'll give him another shot." But personally, I never really cared for him.
He was all right. Elster is doing concert every other night in Las Vegas and will not go anywhere
They must have a
else.
contract with the MGM.
Yeah, they do that residency. And Steven Tyler can't hit those notes anymore.
Oh, no.
Like what's that song?
Dream On.
Yeah, Dream On. He can't hit those notes anymore.
Yeah.
But we saw Robert Plant. Now, what he did, he was in a concert, but he had everything acoustic. He didn't try to hit the notes. He just brought it down some. So and you know, because I was listening to it, he was singing I can't remember what song he was singing, but it was a note in there. He didn't even attempt it because he had already had the song slowed down. He had the melody lowered so that he wouldn't have to go up that high, and it sounded fine.
And Kenny Rogers did something similar because Kenny Rogers realized that he couldn't carry his voice anymore, so he went to a voice coach and learned how to basically redo his own songs in a way that he could carry it that still sounded good.
Yeah.
Rather than cheat the customers.
Okay. Let's see if he's talking about something else. I'm trying to catch up and I'm getting lost, so I'm gonna quit trying to catch up.
And somebody was saying something about I lost my space.
Oh, you watching WrestleMania 3 on VCR tape.
That's the best of all of them. WrestleMania 3 with Andre the Giant and
that's Hogan. The one with Andre the Giant.
Andre versus Hogan. They bring Andre out in the little tiny ring. I think that's the best one. You know what's really bad? Listening to a modern rendition of "Come On, Eileen," because he said Aerosmith sounds terrible now. But you remember "Come On, Eileen"? Look that up. Look up the modern.
The live version. That guy sounds awful.
Yeah, because that was him coming back, and he shouldn't have. And his voice cracks all over the place, and he can't hit the notes, and his voice goes dry and runs out like halfway through, and he's all off tempo. Yeah. It's like he took 5 hits of heroin and went on stage.
And the thing with Dream On, I think that's Steven Tyler's best vocal. I think he really did a good job vocally on that song. And to hear him sing it now is just like just the Dream On part, because I saw him in a live performance. It was a couple of years back. It's on YouTube. And he was playing the piano and singing it. So he didn't have the full band behind him. So it was stripped down, and he didn't get to the Dream On part. But just singing just a regular chorus, not chorus, the regular verses was fine. But I wouldn't want to hear him sing the Dream On part because he went way out there on that. And
somebody was talking also about, I forget who they said it was, but they're like the singer, they're all political now. A lot of them are doing that because that happened with Sting. He got booed off stage a while back, like a month or two ago, for going up there and talking about climate change or something. People don't want to hear that.
A couple of people did that recently.
Yeah, you go to on that same argument, you go to the concerts, you go to the football game, whatever it is you're going to, is to escape all the rest of that garbage. You don't want to go there and hear it too. And that's what's ruining all of these, live sports events and concerts and anything else that you do, comic books.
Yeah.
It's ruining all this stuff because that's where we're supposed to go and escape, and you're not letting us have that. So what are we going to do? We're gonna get frustrated with you.
Yeah, we're gonna quit going to your stuff because I don't want to pay any money to watch my favorite singer get on stage, sing 2-3 songs, and then have some political rant.
Yeah.
Or woke
Start with
rant.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, I
We
don't
don't
want
wanna
to
hear
hear that. I didn't pay however much I paid to hear you talk about that. When I want to hear something about politics,
Mhm.
I'll find a YouTube channel, go watch the news or something like that to listen to that. But if I come into a concert, I want to hear you sing them songs on that record, and that's it. I don't want to hear nothing else. The same with sports. You're paid to bounce the ball up and down the court, bounce the ball. Don't talk about nothing. Don't talk
Yeah.
about the flag and
She's
the
gonna open that
government.
door again.
I know she gets on my nerves with that. But
'Cause she-
anyway,
we don't need the other ones coming down, so I got to check on her.
yeah. But that's like the way of the world now. It's like, oh, I'm gonna use my platform to project my ideals on everybody, and everybody's paying. They love me so much they pay to come to my concert. So now I'm gonna give them this big old political rant. And it's like, no, they come into your concerts to hear you sing. They come into your sporting event to watch you play the sport that you play, not to hear you go on and on and on. Yeah, but whatever. Let's see. Where are we?
I don't know.
Let's see.
Georgia.
I see Burt Reynolds, and I keep thinking about the woman put him in the grave. She destroyed him money-wise.
That happened to Johnny Carson too.
Vince Neil forgetting his own lyrics live in concert was kind of
A lot of
comical.
people have done that though.
I've been to a
Yeah.
concert where that happened, and it was okay. They were singing a song, and in the middle of the song, the guy started talking. It wasn't a political rant. They just started talking, and then they went back, and he was like, "Where did I leave off?" And then the crowd kind of reminded him, and then he picked up.
Mhm.
But not like, I know what you mean. He forgot the words. Bill Burr got political recently. He will only praise the left now. He told me, who is Bill Burr?
I'm not sure actually.
I hate singers playing songs you never heard and only play one familiar song. I hate when you go and they sing somebody else's song that's not theirs. And it's like, I didn't come here to hear you sing somebody else's song. And I've been to concerts like that. And it's like, they up there singing all these songs that don't belong to them. Like it's karaoke night or something. I don't want to hear that.
I'm gonna chop her up.
She's
She
annoying.
is wearing me out with that. Because she figured out how to get that door open.
Yeah. I can't stand to hear someone like Bill Burr, who has made sense forever, then comes and makes fun of people that do not vax. It's oh my God.
Yeah, that used to happen to Peter Gabriel. Even when he was popular in the 80s, he would forget his own lyrics.
Yeah, not finish his song, only saying half the song, then went to the next one.
He hung on too long though. And a lot of them do. It's, they just don't know when to let it go.
Wasn't he in The Mandalorian?
I don't know. We didn't see The Mandalorian. I don't know who Bill Burr is anyway.
I don't know who that is either. But yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah.
And anyway, I'm gonna get you, Miss Kitty. It's just a shame the direction all of that went in. But Halloween.
Yeah.
We're back on track with Halloween. And I still have my bucket. I didn't eat any of the candy. I'm not really big on candy though.
I'll go close the door.
No, because she's gonna keep coming in and we can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come here, Daniel. Come here.
He's not gonna come over here.
Forget you, Daniel. I don't like you anyway. Actually, I adore Daniel. He really is a sweetheart. And his sister also, who is still like super tiny and has 4 kittens, as some of you are aware, because they're viable at a very young age. A kitten can get pregnant at like 12 weeks. And So she's got 4 surviving kittens. One didn't make it,
Yeah.
but she's doing a good job with them. We washed them. We gave them a bath for the first time yesterday, cleaning
Yeah.
them up.
Let's see.
Oh, the man. He said,
Yeah.
Ghost Junk says we need to watch the Mandalorian if it turns up on disc or something, because we won't get Disney Plus.
Mm.
We're not going to get Disney Plus. It depends on how far south you are, Gnomsky. He says you got basements in Georgia.
Yeah.
If you're there's a line, and if you're south of the line, they don't do basements because the water table's too high.
Yeah.
If you're north of the line, you can do it. Have I given them catnip? No, I don't have any catnip.
Mm-mm.
I don't have any catnip.
They're too finicky anyway with all they eat.
They'll like the catnip, though.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, because they just, I don't know. They'll like the catnip, though. I think they would go for that, but I don't have any actually.
Mm. On the topic of Halloween, everyone should mention their top 5 Halloween movies.
Oh, really?
We did that already.
Yeah, we ran over some movie. Well, we made some suggestions. They're not like necessarily the top.
The top, but we can do that and just name the top ones.
Halloween 1, the first one.
Halloween 1 and 2, because they're actually
they should go together.
They're actually one movie
because it's the best of the franchise. The rest of it's a bunch of junk, in my opinion. But yeah, people might like it and that's fine. But I thought it was junk. I like the original Phantasm. I like Scanners, the first one. The Scanners is pretty good. And man, the special effects in Scanners too, considering it was the 70s and they didn't have any no such thing as CGI in the 70s. The Shining is a great, very tense film. No overbearing music.
Yeah,
that's one of the best parts of The Shining.
Yeah, it was no music in it at all. I don't think
the score is very low key. And it was done that way on purpose because that silence builds tension.
Yeah.
And somebody, the person who made that point for that film, they need to consult that person in modern films that want to blast jump scare music at you every 10 seconds.
Hey, Gilgamesh.
You're kind of old for that, aren't you, Gilgamesh?
He's going to say that he was out there with somebody, but it was really him.
Yeah, he put shoes on his knees and shuffled around the neighborhood.
With my friend's family. Pet Cemetery was good. I read the book.
The first Alien film, because it was a horror, but then it was turned into an action franchise. But the first one was a horror film and did the same thing with the music. Very, very low key, hardly any music in the movie.
I think the first Predator was supposed to be like a horror film.
Predator was good, the first one. The first one is still the best from that series.
Ernest Scared Stupid, Halloween, Idle Hands, Hocus Pocus, and Monster Squad.
Monster Squad it's not a horror film, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Amityville Horror, the original one wasn't bad. I like the sequel. Not the sequel. The remake wasn't bad. The original one was good.
No, I have not seen the Rob Zombie. I heard a lot of people didn't care for it.
Oh, the monsters.
But I've never seen it. I think that a lot of people felt like they missed the mark, and I didn't see it. So it's speculation here, because in the original film, the monsters thought they were normal. They didn't think they were monsters. They didn't get that at all. But in the new film, they embrace that. Am I wrong?
I don't think there's any Halloween wrestlers, Johnny.
Halloween wrestlers?
Yeah, scariest, because he's naming like the Undertaker, Doink the Clown.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that. I don't think
they did Doink wrong. Somebody ratted on Doink and cost him his job.
Oh yeah, what did he do?
Doink was in a hotel because doing the circuit, and he was out on his balcony and lit up a doobie. Oh. And one of the other wrestlers saw him and ratted him out to Vince McMahon, and Vince fired him on the spot. He called home and told his wife, "Hey, I just got fired. I'm on my way back." And when he got back, the house was cleaned out and she was gone.
All the drugs those wrestlers take, and they told on him because he was smoking weed.
Yes, because he had put a ban on any kind of use like that during the investigations with the steroid use. So he said, okay, nobody do nothing. I'll get back to you. Don't let me hear about you doing anything, or there's going to be problems.
Oh,
because
wow.
the congressional hearings, and they brought Hulk Hogan up before Congress, and Hulk didn't talk. Hulk never squealed. I'll give him that.
Basket case.
But yeah, Doink was done wrong, and then, like I said, his wife. He came home and his wife's gone, and the house is empty, and they just ruined that guy's life. He died young and badly, unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah.
Close Encounter. I saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been Chris Benoit shot up his family.
There's a lot of real there's a lot of really sad stories in the wrestling life, unfortunately.
Yeah, I used to watch the one YouTube channel where he like focused on different wrestlers, like the tragic stories, and the majority of them got some really tragic stories.
Yeah, there's very few like major success stories, although you wouldn't think so to hear Hacksaw Jim Duggan talk, because he talked trash on the Wrestler movie, because he was like, oh, that's because people just like to focus on the negative. Yes, like 90% negative. Not everybody is you. And even he has fallen from grace, because now he's on that thing where you can buy a minute of him giving somebody a birthday greeting for $80 or something. What's the name of that thing? I forget. All these
yeah, I know what you're talking
C,
about.
D, E, F, and G list
Yeah,
like celebrities are on it. Come here, Daniel.
Elizabeth died. Macho Man's wife. I think she's dead. Christine was a good movie.
Here's Daniel. Hello, baby. Hello, Daniel. Aw, see, kitty. We love our strays.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart. He really is. And he's great with the kittens too. He washes them.
He soaks them.
Yeah.
He pins them down with his paw and licks them to death.
And he licks them until they're dripping. And it's like, okay, he's getting a bath. But he's really good. He's really good to
yeah. Those buy a birthday wishes is some kind of thing. But you can do more than birthdays. You can wish them any kind of thing.
Any kind of greeting. Yeah, and they'll do it. I forget what the name of that service is. Like 2 services that do it.
Yeah.
But that's where he is now. And after all the things that he said about the wrestler, because he was mad. But that is how many of them ended up. They had no money. They had bad drug addictions. They destroyed their bodies, putting on performances. And it's faked, but you're still taking a pounding. I remember Sid Vicious talking about his shoulder. He was like, they wanted him to go out, and he was like, I can't. I just they just stitched up my shoulder. He had a shoulder surgery like 2-3 days earlier, and I think it was his shoulder. And then they made him go running out there, and he tore it.
Ooh.
He tore it and re-injured it, and had to go all over again. Stuff like that. Or even Andre the Giant, he was on his way out because of his back. He had just had back surgery before the WrestleMania 3, which is why he told Hogan to slam him. He told him in the ring, if I remember Hogan's account properly, that he was like, hey, listen, he told him, he was like, go ahead and slam me. And he was like, what, are you serious? Because that was the whole thing. You couldn't slam Andre. He weighed over 500 pounds. And he was like, yeah, go for it, brother. He's like, my back, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing this, so we may as well make this really good. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And he did the slam, and Hogan said that he injured his back doing it, turning him at that weight, because he was like 520 or something at the time. It's insane. Stone Cold hurt his knee so many times. He's like Joe Namath. But,
no.
Yeah. Jake the Snake had real bad drug problems. I think he's recovered though.
Yeah, the wrestling life is pretty tragic. Like I said, and we've been watching the stuff on YouTube, the videos, and you just listen to the hard life. But have anybody heard what happened with Vince McMahon since all that happened with him?
Yeah, he's been exposed recently. Yeah, and he had to step down.
Well, what happened? Anything?
Yeah, I don't know what else happened with him, because he was it was exposed that he had been paying off women that he was cheating on his wife with.
Wow.
Yeah, John, Undertaker's another one too, because we've seen photographs of the Undertaker when he's not
Doped
wrestling.
up.
Yeah, and he's walking around on 2 crutches.
Yeah.
So is Buff Bagwell. We've been seeing Buff Bagwell recently, and he can't walk either. You know, it's a shame what's happened. Who's that?
Another cat.
Is that Dusty?
I hope not. That's probably Miss Kitty.
I don't know. Somebody bouncing around. I can't see who it was.
Yeah.
As long as she doesn't try to bring the kittens down here, because we'll never find them.
Yeah, she moved them cats all over the place. You know your wrestling stuff. Yeah, we
To
both
a point.
like wrestling a lot, and
Baby.
you know we watch it. And I like to watch the documentaries that's on. And A&E or Biography Channel has the documentaries about the wrestling legends. We saw the one of Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker when we were at my parents' house.
Yeah.
And they were pretty good, going on about their life and how they got started and the troubles they had.
It was interesting because Shawn Michaels admitted he was one of the biggest assholes in wrestling.
Yeah.
Because he had a cocaine problem the entire time. That even before, you know, right when he started wrestling, all the way up until near the end, had a big drug problem, a cocaine drug of choice, and that he was a major prick to people, treated people like shit, and that he admitted to that he didn't start, you know, acting right until he got cleaned up.
Yeah, and he got cleaned up because of his now wife, because he about died in the house with the baby there and all kinds of stuff, or she was pregnant or something like that. It was crazy. You listening to that stuff, you're like, man. And when you watching them on TV and everything looks great and they flipping around, they looking all positive and stuff, you don't think that they're on drugs. But or they got some kind of issues or hurts and pains because of the way they look. So it, you know, so people think that they can go out and do that too, and then you don't know the half behind it. It's just like with the music industry. They make everything look great and easy, never tell you about the hardships behind it. So then once you find out, it's too late.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Von Erich family, that whole family suffered. That was terrible.
Yeah. Does anyone remember Dick the Bruiser?
That's what I was just reading,
Oh,
because he
okay,
said
okay.
Kerry Von Erich, and
the Von Erich family. A lot of them died.
I think all of them died tragically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, we saw a documentary on them.
And that's a shame. And I used to watch the Von Erichs, and they used to go against the Fabulous Freebirds all the time, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah, it's a shame how and they give everything for that lifestyle, and it doesn't give them much back. Unfortunately, there's very few Hulk Hogan level wrestlers out there, and even Hulk Hogan has suffered terribly. A lot of really bad injuries, especially his knee. Like him or hate him, he is like the granddaddy of the golden age of wrestling.
Yeah,
which is between, in my opinion, between 1975 to 1995.
Y'all are way out of my knowledge base. I'd have to bring my dad over if you want to talk wrestling. I don't follow modern wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't follow it. I stopped watching it in like the 95, between 95 and 97-ish area.
Yeah.
That's when it started getting real weird, and they started, I don't know, doing all that mess they doing now. And it just wasn't fun anymore. You used to watch it. It was fun to watch. You listen to them do their little banter on the mic, talking about one another, and that was always fun. And then they wrestled. Now it's like a big old gimmick in the middle of the ring. They saying all of this. I don't know if they ever fight anymore.
Yeah. I don't know what goes on with that. Who, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and who was the other one? Davey Boy Smith. Oh man, people hated them. They were awful. That's Davey Boy got his teeth kicked in by somebody.
Oh wow!
For real, for being such an ass. The NWL disciple was Brutus Beefcake. I got sick of WC right around the end of the WCW eras when it really got bad, and when they started doing things like bringing in RoboCop and Chucky and crap like that. And it's like, oh, give me a break.
And what's that basketball player's name?
Oh my God.
The black guy. What's his name? Rodman. Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman, when he was wrestling and he was supposed to go again. Oh, who was he fighting with? Because I know that they brought in Jay Leno too. When they brought in Jay Leno, it's like, oh please, you know. But and with his chin attack that he did in the ring was ridiculous.
Oh
he has to
my
wear like
God.
96 layers of sweatshirts so that you can't see how flabby he is because he was in no kind of shape. But Dennis Rodman, and there's a story about that where he fought Macho Man, and Macho Man drags him out of the ring and threw him into a porta potty and tipped the porta potty over. And this is on camera. And Macho said he really did that. That's not scripted, because he hated Rodman so much because Rodman was such a tool, and he screwed things up. Hogan talked bad on Rodman too, because he was like, you know, he was always late. He'd stay up late. He'd keep people up. You couldn't get him out of bed on time. He's always drunk. He was like, I couldn't stand working with Rodman because you know you're on a schedule.
Yeah.
Even the screw ups who have drug and alcohol problems get up on time and end up where they're supposed to be and do what they're supposed to do. Not Rodman. Rodman thought he could just do whatever the hell he wanted.
No, I don't watch the Stone Cold interviews. I don't think I was watching wrestling. I don't remember Stone Cold
Well,
Steve
he does
Austin.
a radio podcast or something now.
Oh yeah,
I think that's what he's talking about.
Okay. No, I don't listen to that. I only watched, like I said, the little documentaries on YouTube. I'll watch those, but I don't listen to the podcast. So.
Yeah.
No. Said Eddie's girlfriend forgot
Eddie
her
Guerrero.
name.
Yeah, I remember him. And he was in WCW too.
Oh yeah. I didn't watch WCW. I only watched WWF. I know they had that little transfer going on right there.
Because they got all the talent because they were willing to pay him. It was back then. The only one making money was Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Other people weren't making good money, and they were saying, okay, you know, I can run all over the place and work 280 days a year and drive myself from one event to the next. I mean, even Stone Cold Steve Austin talks about how he would barely have enough money for gas to get between venues, and he would be sitting there in a parking lot with a sack of potatoes, peeling them and eating them raw because he couldn't afford food, you know, and then hopefully there'd be a buffet wherever he was going. You got fur on me. But those wrestlers were getting nothing. They weren't making any money unless they were like huge, and that's why Hulk Hogan made more money than anyone in the business. But yeah, most of those guys had nothing. So when WCW comes along and you're making like $50,000 a year, killing yourself, and then they said, we'll pay you $1.5 million, we'll pay you $2 million. It's like, oh, bye, McMahon. You know, what are they going to do?
But it's like, why do you put yourself through that is what I can never understand. You know, after watching the documentaries and hearing how Ed McMahon treated them and talked to them.
And they always come crawling back.
Yeah. And it's like, why would you put yourself through that? You know,
we're talking about that mid 90s, 80s to mid 90s era as far as people getting paid, because there was a transition after WCW, but what also Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson was the prodigal son because he was raised into that, and they always had plans for Dwayne Johnson from day one.
The
Weasel and the Gorilla. Yeah, the side commentary in the old wrestling events was sometimes better than the wrestling show.
To give,
Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain, Bobby the Weasel Heenan. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were hilarious on the sidelines.
Yeah, I used to like watching that when they talked to Mean Gene, and that's what they used to do on Saturdays. They had a little wrestling, but it was mainly the promo spots, and all of the wrestlers would come out and talk about the week just passed and the week coming up, the matches coming up.
Oh, Kentucky's got to go.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us. They would talk about the week coming up, and I always like that little banter that they had going on, and like, oh, they called him out to do a match at this weekend's show, and then he like, Gotta go finger to the throat. Yeah. Okay. What you doing?
I was checking because Lou, I was checking on Lou.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. Oh, my mama answering. What did she say? Was The Rock a real wrestler? Yeah, he was a real. He got a show out now on his life. I saw the trailer for it. It's a TV show about him getting started as a wrestler and all of that. But yeah, he was a wrestler. You used to watch him. You and
He used to
you
go
and
by the
Daddy.
moniker Rocky Maivia.
Yeah. But
Eh,
he was on
Yeah,
WWF and he had the people's eyebrow and the people's
yeah, all that mess.
elbow. I never saw him wrestle though because I was way out of wrestling
He was
by
all right.
then. Um,
Robert, that was Jerry the King Lawler.
I used to like Jerry.
Jerry the King Lawler is the guy that fought with Andy Kaufman, and
Hey guys,
it
late to the
started
party.
on
Very big name.
Late Night with David Letterman.
They
This is where the
wrestle
feud
because
started.
they love it. It is a toy collecting or whatever. I know a pro wrestler, very big name. It's all about it. They wrestle because they love it. It's their toy collecting or whatever. Okay. I mean, I know you love it, but I just don't like how Vince McMahon treated them.
No, he was
He
terrible.
didn't treat them with respect or like men. He treated them like, I don't know, like tools, like garden tools.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, you work for me, I pay you, you do what I say do. And it was like, oh yes, sir, yes, sir.
yes, massive.
Yeah.
But
And that's just, I don't know. I just don't like that. I didn't like seeing that. Well, you don't see it, but when you watch the documentaries and you hear what's going on behind the scenes,
yeah,
I didn't like that.
sequential. We rarely open a table up. We have
For
done
what?
that before, but we rarely
Oh.
put up a table at a con. Usually, we film it.
Mm-hmm. I went to a professional wrestling once. Me, my mom, dad, and brother went
Mhm.
once. And the Undertaker was there, so that was good enough for me. Closest thing to wrestling I watched was Battle Bot. So you never
remember
watched
Battle Bots.
wrestling?
Yeah, Gilgamesh talking about Hulk Hogan rock and roll wrestling on CBS television.
Mm.
That's I remember that show, and none of those voices were authentic.
Is money. Yeah, it's where the money is, I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, it because you see it all over. You see it in movies, in music, in wrestling. It's like, I need the money, so I'm going to take it. I'm going to do whatever, even if I have to lower myself. And I always say
Mhm.
that, and I'll go back to the slap heard around the world with Will Smith and Chris Rock.
That's about
How
as fake
much
as it
money?
gets. Was it worth it? Yeah.
How much money did Chris Rock and Will Smith get for that staged slap? Because that was staged. And it's like, you're gonna put yourself in that much embarrassment for the whole world to see.
Yeah.
And now it's like etched in the internet. You are not gonna get that nowhere off of the internet.
And they can't backtrack on it now
Yeah.
because it's gone too far. It went further than they expected it to go. And if you ever doubted it, keep in mind they have 800 camera shots of audience reaction.
Mm-hmm.
One shot of the slap.
Yeah.
And Chris leaned into it.
Yeah.
He closed his eyes and leaned forward. They knew what they were doing.
When I was watching it, Vince wasn't in charge. In the 80s and mid 90s, 90s, Vince wasn't in charge. I don't know. It seemed like his dad was in charge before him, I think. I don't know who was
Yeah.
in charge. I think it was his dad, but he wasn't in charge then. And like, I don't know how they were treated then. I know it was a lot of injuries and they were working through injuries. But then once Vince came in, you hear about the background. Once Vince came in there, he treated them really bad. And I thought that was just too much for a person to take, especially if you're a man. It seemed like you should have a level of of respect for yourself as a person, and Vince as a person didn't respect the other person, and I thought that was wrong.
No, I rarely sell sequential.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of that actually. So I'm not like a store or anything.
Yeah, he
Oh.
just got a lot of stuff.
Ghost Ghost Junk says he has to go.
Oh, okay. Well, we enjoyed having you.
Yeah. Robert doesn't like Will Smith. He has a massive ego.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's another prodigal son. I mean, they took him out of his mediocre rap career and put him into a very mediocre sitcom. And the sitcom was written really for him to give him acting experience.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a good show. I don't think it was a good show. And he was not a good actor on it. He learned to be a better actor, but you know, that arrogance never left him.
Yeah, and then I've seen documentaries about the lady that played the mom, the first mom, and why she left the show, and it was because of him and his arrogance and how he used to push around all of the different actors, but she bucked against him and was like, "You're not going to treat me like that. You're not going to talk to me that way," and they fired her.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lady, I can't remember
and then
her
made
name.
fun of her being replaced.
Yeah.
In the episode, mocked her. Yeah.
Yeah. But she left the show because of him and his attitude, and she wasn't going to have it. Rome Ross is here. Hey, Rome. And I think we're all caught up. So.
No, I'm not doing I'm not on doing chats selling things. You know, like you see a lot of YouTubers.
Yeah, the YouTube live chat.
Hey, we got this. Hey, look, whoa, hey. Hey, here you go. Hey, buy this.
Does anybody know what a claim sale is? What is that? Because I've seen people say, "Oh, I've got this on a claim sale. I got that." I can never figure out how does a claim sale work. And okay, where are we? Oh, okay, it's going this way. Let's see. The only Will Smith movie I like is The Pursuit of Happiness. Good meaning in it, but like you said, he learned how to act well. Yeah. So the ego is still there.
He still thinks he's king shit. Sequential says, we're just here to talk.
Yeah, we're just running our mouth.
Nostalgia, comic books, toys, old movies, whatever. Just to have a conversation with the people who watch our channel, who subscribe to our channel, get to know them a little bit. Super chat. No, I mean, we have gotten donations on Super Chat, but usually it's for the stray cats. People give us something for the strays that we take care of, but we're not expecting to get paid.
What's your thoughts about the costume remakes? And then Master Magnetism wants you to read us comics one day.
Oh my God. I actually can do a dramatic read because I've done that
word
before.
I haven't heard word you remember that lingo word, man. That's fresh right there. That's dope.
That's funky fresh. That's in the pocket.
But we were talking about something.
I'm hip. I'm hip to that.
Word up.
Yeah, word up, homie.
What we was talking about? Leave them cats alone.
Daniel, I just don't want him to get weird.
They're all weird.
He's excited because he's downstairs, and I gotta watch out. See him? He's acting up. Do I need to secure you? If I go walk over to him, he's gonna run because he knows I'm gonna pick him upstairs. At least Uncle's not down here.
Yeah, he outside.
I saw the
retro costume remake
because it's just the mask.
It's not the outfit.
No, you don't get the vinyl smock. It's just the mask. He said it's at the Halloween store for like $10 or something. That's interesting, but I'd rather have the original ones. I did some dramatic read for channel reading Bible passages a while back, but Yeah, because I can do the voices and I can do a dramatic read because I used to do it with my kids all the time. That's how I taught them to read. I
Mhm.
had the old Seeger Popeye newspaper strip volumes, and they're in the story is in sequence.
Mhm.
You know, a whole year's worth is one story, and I would read them and do all the voices and stuff. I'd read a page, and then he'd have to read a page, and we go back and forth, and that's how I taught him to read. Um, and it was fun. It
Yeah.
was fun, but yeah, I can do that. I can do dramatic reads.
David,
Oh, there is a smock.
yeah, you say come
Oh,
with it. So
okay.
you get the whole thing.
And I do tours of the toy catalogs. I put one up yesterday,
I like
actually.
I like the Christmas catalog because it reminds you when you used to go through the Christmas catalog like 50 times and
Yeah, I did the Sears
write
catalog
down all
last
your
year,
stuff. Yeah.
and no, last year I did a different one.
Mm.
But the year before, I did the Sears like 1984 Christmas wish list catalog.
Are you gonna do one this year?
I am going to do one this year. I have a early '60s FAO Schwartz.
Oh, okay. It's cool. Okay. William say he posted one in the group.
Oh, okay.
The mask and smock. It's cool. Okay. So it does come, the
I
whole
wasn't
thing come
sure.
together. What was that you were looking at with the kids and the people in the costumes? I thought that was the new ones. That was the old
No,
ones.
no, no. That was an original like 19, I think 81 or 82 Ben Cooper Halloween costume catalog,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some creepy stuff in there.
What is that? What was
Toys R
that?
Us.
That's Fat Boy Slim.
Yeah.
Right. Was it that Funk Soul Brother?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was Funk Soul Brother. But
I might have some Toys R Us flyers, but I don't think I have a Toys R Us catalog.
you know what's interesting now? Walmart, Target, and Amazon got their little Christmas
Yeah, they brought
catalogs.
that back.
Yeah,
They didn't know
Amazon.
damn prices in them, but they brought them back.
Amazon started a couple of years ago, and then this year we got one from Walmart and Target. So
Yeah.
it's tiny. It's not the Sears catalog. It's
No.
not big.
It's not the same. It's not like a phone book.
Yeah.
For those of you who know what a phone book is, since that's no longer a thing.
Yeah. But I was surprised when Amazon, the first year Amazon came out with one, it was kind of lame, it was thin, and it was pretty lame. And then the next year it was a little bit better, and they constantly putting it out every year. And you know, I was surprised to see it. I mean, the toys, I guess now that I'm older, the toys don't look interesting. I wouldn't want to buy none of them toys for any of my kids, but it was just reminiscent of when you were a kid and you got the Sears catalog and you flip through it. But now all of them are doing it. Walmart never did one. It was only Sears that did the Christmas. And I don't think J.C. Penney or anybody did one.
A wish book? I think
Yeah.
Montgomery Ward did.
I know Sears was about the only one that did.
Well, Sears always did tons of catalogs, and they are. KB had the holiday flyers. I don't think they had a specific catalog though. But a lot of what I show are toy fair catalogs. Do I have one down here?
After the
think I
live
do.
stream, we're gonna check out Lou's channel because he's doing a live
Yeah.
stream and he had invited us on there. And we told him we had this planned out already, and that once he's done, we would
Migo like on YouTube.
Yeah, Migo like one, my Migo like.
This is one of the other catalogs I was going to do, and this is the 1984 Hasbro Toy Fair catalog, and it's a big one. And this is transitional because, as you can see, there's barcodes in the back for them to scan for purchasing assortments.
Huh.
But it's one of the last of the catalogs to have big images, because Toy Fair catalogs started really getting reduced and they went to little pictures and they kind of sucked. But yeah, this is a nice one. There's a lot in here, including some toy lines that you may have forgotten about, like Stargate for the movie Stargate. And you can still pick these up really cheap. There's a lot of 90s action figure properties out there that are relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
Another catalog I did, because I was showing this to somebody recently. I did a tour of this one, and that's the Thundercats live playbill from the 80s because they did a live song and dance stage performance. And I have found the original commercial for this and I put it in that tour. But this is
who's that?
scary.
Doc. I didn't see your name before, so hello.
DC Ohen something. I can't read.
What are you talking about? They can't see them pictures.
No, I'm gonna show. I'm gonna show them because these are nuts. But I did a tour of this catalog. Can you imagine?
Hey, Sequential Geek, he gotta go.
Okay, you imagine running around in this stuff?
That gotta be hot.
And yeah, I know and they look ridiculous. They really do. My favorite though is the headpiece that they put on Panthro. You couldn't have found a bald dancer. We can't do that. You got to put that freaking helmet on him.
Wow, I never saw that.
and then look at pole dancer Chitara there. Oh my God, they look awful. And then they had guest appearances, and the guest appearances are like, you wonder what the hell's going on when you see the guest appearances in this catalog. I did a full tour of this one, see, because Gumby on roller skates and Lionel got to save the universe.
Wiley said he wanted to go see that really bad.
Oh, this?
Mm-hmm.
I bet it was nuts. I bet this was bonkers to watch on stage because they had a lot going on.
And that's all roller skates.
They tried dancing and singing and roller skating, and they got this guy. They get the Silverhawks flying on wires, and they get people running, flying around stage on dirt bikes and stuff. Man, they tried.
He said they had a Masters of the Universe power tour.
They did.
Oh wow.
They did that with Masters. They did a lot of a lot of that was going on, those off-Broadway productions.
Robert wants to collect 3 3/4 figures of the Love Boat and MASH. Did they have that?
Yes.
Love Boat and MASH?
3 3/4 inch G.I. Joe style bodies, and Mego made the Love Boat and a playset, which is basically a big cardboard cutout, and then of the boat. And you could put it behind your flag. And
put it in front of the flag.
TriStar made 3 3/4 inch MASH figures that are in the same articulation as the straight arm G.I. Joes. So and they hit the tough one is the play set because they have a whole play set with all the tents and everything. Yeah, the Ninja Turtles had a live one too. But that's pretty. Yeah, I know. Sequential. Those people went into acting classes and end up doing all that. I know.
That's the people from the community.
I went to Juilliard for this.
They didn't go to no Juilliard. Those are people they got from the community theater group.
Oh, I don't know about that. But they made fun of that in that one Will Ferrell movie where he was a professional ice skater.
I didn't see that.
And he was banned from skating, and so he had to take a job doing one of those ice-capade things, and he felt really sorry for himself, and so he was he became an alcoholic, and so he's skating around in a big gnome costume, and then starts throwing up on himself in the costume. And he had a hot mic so you could hear him. Blah, I'm sorry. Blah.
Oh my gosh.
I can't remember the name of that movie.
Do you guys happen to have a Remco B9 Lost in Space robot?
Not anymore.
Oh.
I did. I had 2 of them because they came in different colors. But I had that from the old collection.
Blades of Glory.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was the film. But yeah, I used to, but I don't have that anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's something I would look for again because I love the old robots. I used to have a few. And it's a classic genre of toy collecting that's kind of been forgotten. And there's a few like Cap Guns has gone away, things like that are just really cool.
Favorite Halloween song?
Oh God, I don't know.
The Twilight Zone. To the Twilight Zone. That's not the name of the song, but that verse is in there.
No, the disco version of the Twilight Zone from Miami Sound Machine. Here in the twilight, come on. You know the song.
No, I
And
know the
and
song I'm talking
the
about.
one singer
Monster
actually,
Mash.
that's about an orgy, by the way. It's not about dancing.
Monster Mash?
No.
Oh.
A slap contest? No, Master. Why would I do that?
I always wanted to see Patrick Stewart playing Scrooge with audience fan in Starfleet uniform, screaming, "You go, Captain Picard."
They take you out of the theater. I seen him on stage in Boston doing that. He did a one man performance, so he played all the parts.
Theme from Supra sung by Goblin, very creepy. I never heard that. It's not too many Halloween songs though. I mean,
And
I
most
guess
of them are kiddish.
yeah, maybe Thriller might be a Halloween song.
I suppose it's really the best music video it's ever been done.
Thriller,
I think, yeah.
yeah,
But back when they used to try to tell a story in most of them,
yeah.
like somebody brought up Pat Benatar, "Love Is a Battlefield" earlier.
If
and
I
that
could
was
turn back the hands of time
that
by
was a
R.
good-
Kelly.
That was a good video. No, that's a terrible video.
That's a great video.
That
If I
song
could
is-
turn back the hands
That
of
song
time.
is miserable.
The song is good. That's a really good song.
Try it.
Staying Alive is a good video. That's a good song. Take on Me is a good video.
No,
Yes.
the video's good. The song, I don't
The
care
song
for.
is great. The
What are
one
you
by
doing?
Dire Straits, Money for Nothing.
Money for Nothing and Your Chicks for Free. Yeah. And that was the pinnacle of CGI technology in those days too.
I never heard of Supra, so whatever, horror movie.
Suspira.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I've
Music
heard that
from
one.
Goblin. I had Viewmaster slides of
Viewmaster
Thriller.
is another
Really?
genre of toys, or that sort of thing. It's just gone because that was a big deal, and the projectors too.
We had a Viewmaster with the slides that came with it, but never got new slides.
Oh no, that's that
Oh.
old Christmas gift, okey doke.
Yeah. I want
Oh,
my
man.
MTV. Yes, good video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Music video channels are gone. I think we talked
Yeah.
about that before. That's something that used to be like a staple. You come home from school and then they had like Your MTV Raps and stuff like that. Other shows, but it's no they still make music videos, but they don't have a show. I guess because of YouTube, they don't have to have a network or anything.
Yeah, it's kind of dead now.
Mm.
Leprechaun. I think I saw the first one, but I don't remember it too well because that was a million years ago. Oh no, I've got like I think a box set of like 5 of them on disc. I forget how many Leprechauns there were.
I don't think I ever saw Leprechaun.
Yeah, you weren't missing much.
I'm sure I wasn't.
But I don't. Yeah, I don't remember it too well,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest. But
Yeah.
it's neither here. No, and someone asked if we plan on watching any horror movies tonight. Not really. I don't think so. You know, we're missing Gunsmoke to do this, by the way, because this is Monday night is Gunsmoke.
Oh, Gunsmoke, and also upstairs, downstairs. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. Because for some of you who aren't aware, we have a system of television viewing, and we do it like old school. So Gunsmoke, since it's the earlier episodes are half-hour episodes, we watch 2 half-hour episodes of Gunsmoke, and then afterwards upstairs downstairs 1 episode, the original 70s version, which is an excellent show. The writing and the acting in it is brilliant, and it does a really great job of contrasting the difference between
the
social classes without screaming at you about it.
Yeah.
It gives you both sides and lets you make up your own mind.
Yeah.
And even sometimes more than 2 sides, because you can see the points. You can see multiple points. They do it in a way where sometimes you're like, you know what? They're both kind of right.
Yeah.
I get that. And it's actually a really brilliantly done show. I would recommend seeing it.
Yeah, Robert, we did see that movie. The lady from Dark Shadows, Elizabeth, Mrs. Elizabeth is in that movie. We saw that movie. I don't remember it well, but I know we saw it, and I remember seeing it because she was in it. You should watch Garfield Halloween. Yeah, I know I've seen.
Oh, so we did see that Suspiria.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
okay, yeah,
seen
yeah,
that.
yeah. We did see that.
Can't wait to see David Tennant as a doctor or fourth doctor.
I don't remember him that well, to be
It's
honest.
a movie with the 3 older women as witches. Isn't that the one that's out now? Hocus Pocus. Love, Gunsmoke, Hocus Pocus. Yeah,
I don't
Hocus
know.
Pocus is the one, and they just made a sequel.
I
to
never
that.
saw Hocus Pocus.
Yeah,
I
I never
it.
saw it either, but I know they got that remake out now.
Yeah, and Bette Midler had been fighting for years trying to get funding to do that remake,
Mm.
and I think it went straight to streaming.
Oh
But,
yeah.
yeah, I don't think it went to theaters at all.
Mm.
But she had been trying to get it funded for a long time, and people were like, "Nah, yeah, we're not going to give you any money, Bet." But she pulled it off. She wanted to do her project, and she got it done. And from what I heard, it's not bad in comparison to the original one.
Mm. It's original, very scary, creepy music. Wednesday Addams has her own Netflix show. Yeah, what is it going to be about?
They're gonna screw it up.
You don't know that. Ernest Scared Stupid, one of the best. Good for her. Okay.
Gilgamesh said, Ernest Scared Stupid. I remember that one. I remember Scared Stupid.
I remember Ernest. He had the commercials and then went to a TV show. Then went to the movie.
He started off doing 7-Eleven commercials.
I thought it was something else.
Yeah, I believe it was 7-Eleven commercials, and he would
talking to
Vern, and you never saw Vern, and Vern would always do whatever he could to get rid of him. Like a ladder would come up on the window, and he'd climb up, and he'd say, "Hey, Vern, did you hear that?" And Vern would shut the window on his fingers.
That's where they got the guy from Home Improvement. You remember the neighbor was across the fence, and you never saw his face, just the back of his head. Or his forehead.
Just so the eyes up, yeah.
Yeah. But on Vern, you never saw Vern at all.
You might see his hands coming out, but you never saw Vern.
But then they made the Ernest movies. Ernest Goes to Camp. I think Ernest had a Christmas show.
Yeah, there was
and all
a Christmas
kinds of stuff.
one. There was a bunch of. They were silly. They're pretty silly, but
yeah. So.
But that's all right. Ernest is still classic. Ernest P. Worrell, Mr. 10 Packs a Day, which is what killed him, I think.
Oh yeah,
he was a bad.
I wonder why they never did a Funko Pop of him.
I don't know. People would recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
He had a talking doll, I think, pull string talker. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ernest joins the army.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think he was in your unit.
I doubt that.
Him and Joe the Ragman.
Joe the Ragman show was there.
So those of you who were ever in the military, you know what we're talking about there.
Mm-hmm.
Joe the Ragman. Look at you, soldier. You're Joe the Ragman.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you sometimes.
Oh yeah, why not? You believe me.
Yeah.
Yeah, she believes everything I say. But that's that's why we're together. No, we get along great though.
I was just thinking the other day, should do a Funko Pop of Captain Kangaroo. They never did none of Charmed.
Captain Kangaroo has been forgotten. He's one of those forgotten characters. I remember Captain Kangaroo. You know, another one that's been.
Bye, Master.
Yep, thanks for joining us. Another one that's been forgotten is Romper Room. Magic Mirror, and the Doobie. But those kind of shows, they're just gone. They're fading from memory.
Yeah.
Bozo the Clown, and he was huge.
Oh really?
Yeah, there was multiple Bozos.
Yeah, you said because they were all over the place.
Yeah, wherever they were being broadcast from. The one that was in the East Coast that broadcast out of Boston, I think was the original one. And I actually have some of his best episodes on disc.
Okay.
They're fun and they're nuts because it was a live show. So they screwed everything up and just kept rolling. Especially, God forbid you wanted to get them out spinning plates because they did circus stuff. It's like, we're going to get this plate spinning. They broke half of them. You know, they made a mess.
What do we have coming in for the coming weeks? We got a show, 2 shows coming up this week. Well, Saturday and Sunday. is a show.
The 5th and the 6th of November.
Yeah, 5th and the 6th of November. The 5th is in Rome, Georgia, and the 6th is in Augusta, Georgia. So we'll be doing that.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's nothing else going on.
I think there's 3 shows in November and then 1 in December.
Yeah. 2 really, because you got the one on Saturday, the toy swap, and then you have the that show that's nearby us.
Oh, the one that's going to be at the
American Legion, or Veterans Hall,
that's
or
right.
something.
And I think that's the first time that show's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy asked us to come, so we could film, which is always fun. We of course we film them and we put them on for the viewers, so in case they couldn't go or maybe you want to be curious about it. Yeah, we always film.
Yeah, but we don't live stream the
No, we
show.
don't. We're not live streaming, but we go and we film it or try to. It's not always easy.
Yeah,
because if it gets really busy, it's hard to. I remember Wizzo. Wizzo's going way back. And he was on the air for like 20 or 30 years, and people don't. It's like, who's Wizzo? Is that? Am I thinking of the right one?
I don't know. I used to watch Big Top Talent. I like Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
The first one was good. The second one was trash, and the show was good.
Pee-wee Herman.
Yeah, Pee-wee. The Pee-wee Herman show.
Yeah, tell him Large Marge sent you.
Yeah, well, that's the movie.
Yeah, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, and then they had the Pee-wee's Big Top, which was terrible, and then they had the show before he got in trouble, which was good. And Weird Al Yankovic had a show that was almost exactly like it, called The Weird Al Show, but it only ran for 1 season.
Oh, okay. They have a movie about his life now coming out.
Who? Weird Al? I think it's all. I don't believe that show, because I saw some clips from that. I seriously doubt he was going around slapping people and putting out cigarettes on them. Yeah. And then when they showed him having the affair with Madonna in there, I went and I looked it up, because there is an exhaustive list of her people that she slept with. He is not on it. So is it like some kind of fantasy thing that Weird Al put out, or does he expect us to actually believe any of that happened? I don't know. I'm not interested in seeing it.
No, because that doesn't fall in line with his Behind the Music, because we saw his Behind the Music where he's talking, and he doesn't even have that kind of personality.
No, he didn't talk about anything like what you saw in the movie clips. It doesn't make any sense. So one of them is a lie. Either way, he's a liar.
Maybe he just is like a parody of his life, what he think his life should be like, or his fantasy life or something like that.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap up for tonight. So thank you, everybody who joined us this evening. We hope you had a good Halloween. And Dr. Demento. I used to listen to Dr. Demento on the radio. And what was his name? I can't remember. There was another late night DJ I used to listen to that had national publication. Not Howard Stern. I never got into Howard Stern. I didn't really care for him. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you have a good evening. And we'll try to do this again sometime soon.